Ryan Taylor Hall, he came in and moved them all. 1-for-1, the deal's done. Bobby Mack let us know. Ryan Stromey lost it twice. Drake from Manning was not nice. 2 good picks, they went for Griff. Pete just had to go. Eric Greiber buyout, what was that all about? Miko signed a 3-year deal, and my friends, that ain't no steal. Traded for Spooner, shoulda canned him sooner. Chris Russell, Lucic, no movement on their deals. Pete left a tire fire. Bobby Nix is searching for the perfect person. Pete left a tire fire. Now it's tough to do well when you're stuck in cap hell.
6:02 in the morning. Thank you very much for being here for another dose of the AM. Nasty Dusty and Lieutenant Eric with you. Maddie, you can crank my phones up a little bit. Tommy was in this chair last night, wasn't he? Tommy has better hearing than me, I think.
Sad Tommy.
Sad Tommy
Look
last night.
what you've done to him.
Yeah, look at this.
Look what you've done to him, Oilers.
Look what you've done to Tommy Gazzola. It's devastating. Absolutely devastating. I don't want to start every show with tire fire, but how are we supposed to get away from it right now? Like, you can't. A real tough one last night. We're going to break it down, obviously, as the struggles continue mightily. They finally found some emotion at the end of the game, which is basically just poor sport mode when you know you're going to lose, so you start doing a bunch of stupid stuff. Jay Woodcroft, what was the tweet you saw last night that made you laugh?
Nate in Vegas watching the game on mute thought he just quit on the team. Just walked away. So that I've had it down the hall.
If you didn't know what was going on and you were just watching it on mute, and
know,
Woodcroft's just like, oh, he's done.
I had to chuckle at that one.
See you later.
Yeah.
He's out of here. We'll hear some post game as well. Maddie, I saw you would cut up McDavid. We have a Woodcroft too. Who do we got?
Your choice. Steelers' choice. We'll have Woodcroft, McDavid, Skinner, and Ekholm for you to choose from.
I think McDavid and Woody probably find their way mixed in here at some point today. If you did not watch the post-game show last night, it's huge numbers, so you probably want to go check that out as well. If you're watching this morning, give us a thumbs up. It helps in the algorithm of things, so we would appreciate that as well. Lieutenant Eric, how was so a weird Monday night, right? Because it's the double dip. You get the Chargers and the Jets that maybe nobody really wants to watch, and you get the Oilers and Canucks that after the first period maybe nobody really wants to watch.
Yeah, and screw the Chargers. They are what is it, Jets +3 or whatever?
Yeah, it was not good. It's the only thing we missed on our lock shot.
And they don't piss anything. Like Herbert doesn't special teams, and Eckler doing what he did, and the defense showing up and. So that game was a little frustrating. Riding shotgun with Trevor Savage. Savage, the plumber there, had a well-written-out sheet of frustration. Congratulations to Susan as well, making her triumphant return to the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. Fellow Bills fan. She hit it dead on the scoreboard last night. Dead on. Dead on. Score, Chargers and Jets. She walked out of there with an Atlanta Falcons. I guess she and I both called it one of those Uncle Buck hats. You know, the one with the floppy ears. You can put right over the Mounties, kind of weird. So she walks out of there with that. It was great. I actually walked her out into the parking lot to her vehicle last night. You did? Road, yeah.
That's
by
nice
request.
of you.
By request. She requested. I do it. I will offer those services free of charge if anybody else wants an escort out.
What a guy!
To the parking lot, I do that.
Do you walk out Fergie's prostate after? Or?
He always leaves a little early.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, early bird. He's
Yeah.
He's up at 3 a.m.
He's really old and stuff.
He did beat me twice at backgammon last night. He actually gammoned me in one match.
What's that mean?
I don't know. I got gammoned.
He said I gammoned you?
Yeah, I got gammoned. I was this close from being
What does that mean?
I was this close from being backgammoned, apparently.
Is that where it comes from?
Yeah, that's the whole thing there.
So is that like getting skunked in crib?
Yeah.
Must be.
It's close. I was like half skunked. Jason Andrea. No Norma Jean, though. And she's the one that's been supposed to sell me a Christmas card. She makes her own cards.
So she still hasn't come back.
And she's been, mysteriously absent for the past couple of games. And I wonder if, like, me requesting a card now is kind of to put the heat on. You know?
Maybe she's at home trying to find that perfect card.
So she wasn't there. But
yeah, the Monday Nighter last night, thank God this game didn't happen north of the border. We never hear the end of it.
Well,
teams combined for
football,
2 offensive touchdowns. 461 yards of total offense, which Vernon Adams calls a good day through the air. 13 sacks, 15 punts, 12 penalties, and 3 turnovers. The 2 quarterbacks combined to go 49 of 79 for 399 yards, and a lot of that was garbage time from Zach Wilson. So if you were watching the hockey game last night instead of the football game, you didn't miss much. But the Chargers do end up picking up the victory. Aaron Rodgers was seen throwing 55-yard touchdowns on a 3-step drop.
Hey, he was standing around with a headset on.
He was.
Isn't that something?
In brown hoodies that I don't know if I hated or absolutely loved.
Would he have helped Garrett Wilson last night? Probably not. Hey, I mean, it's
Probably he would have helped him last night.
That is a. But hey, Thursday night, Bears Panthers.
Oh man, the NFL keeps trotting out
It's
great
the prime time
matchup
gift.
after great matchup. Hey?
No takebacks, right? Hey.
Bears Panthers.
And Oilers Sharks.
Oh, well, at least
Hey.
you should. You should get to watch an Edmonton Oilers win on Thursday night.
But as Big Uke says, we did get field goals.
We did get the field goals. Cashed over 3.5 field goals. Our man Pete Greggy, he cashed his Patty's prime time. So that was nice as well last night. We were a McDavid goal away from cashing our parlay. But
so close.
I had Leon Draisaitl as the cool bet lock shop play of the day. So that hit. So that was kind of nice.
Snapping a 7-gamer.
Yeah, it's about time. And he needed a goaltender to fall down behind the net to get it done. So, I mean, a goal is a goal, and they'll certainly take it. But the Edmonton Oilers last night, I think maybe we were fools for expecting any better. You know,
Well, I wasn't.
No, you weren't expecting any better. I guess I wasn't predicting them to win yesterday either.
But
And
you saw better.
Like they came out with a great start. And we got your morning after show coming up. We're going to lay everything out. I mean, the real question today, I guess, is like, where do they go from here now? It's a loss to a Canucks team. You know, the Canucks have more points against the Oilers this year than the Oilers have all season. Think about that for a second. That's a wake-up call. Vancouver Canucks have 6 points against just the Oilers this year. They could have only played the Oilers in 3 games, and they would still be ahead of them, as the Oilers have now opened the season 2-8-1. An absolute disaster. Woodcroft ejected. But they come out with a really good start. Demko makes some pretty big saves. They get one. And Ekholm, absolute. I really wish we'd used the term howitzer more, because that was a real howitzer top cheese. You know, that
Should be illegal from that close of range.
It shouldn't be allowed.
It should be allowed. No.
Like,
Should be a rule. The
at
Ekholm
Friday
rule.
afternoon hockey, that one gets called back.
The Ekholm
like,
rule,
what are
yeah.
you doing? What are you doing? You're not allowed to shoot it that hard from in that close. So that gets them going. You're like, okay, here we go. I actually legitimately saw people blaming Stuart Skinner for the first goal last night. Not the second goal, but the first goal. You know, the one that Desharnais shoots into his own net?
They call that an own goal.
Yeah, that is not on Skinner. The next one, he's got to have. He's got to have. Now, with that being said, I think Cass broke it down on the postgame show last night. That was a 3-on-3 essentially entering the zone. Like, Fogle was ahead of the man who eventually scored, but zero communication. Like, Kulak, I mean, why are 2 guys going to the one guy? And then it's thrown right up into the middle, and you've got a pretty high danger chance from the slot, but it's still one that you'd like to see Stuart Skinner actually stop, which I think frustrated a ton of people last night, and understandably so. I mean, I get that. The Besser power play goal, kind of a lucky bounce, but good things. What do they say? What's the saying, kids? Good things happen when you go to the net.
Oh.
Besser's standing there. It hits him. Skinner, I think, had kind of been sliding over a bit to get in front of that shot. And doing that, he kind of took himself a little bit out of position. But it's Besser who locates the puck and bangs it in before the Edmonton Oilers could get their hands on that one. So that was not a good look either. And then it just continued. It just continued to unravel from that point. So, I mean, where do you go from here? You can hit us up, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and we will get to that fourth goal. Bouchard with a horrible pinch. Oh, it didn't even hurt. Right? Like that's
the Bouchard
pinch.
pinch.
That's the pinch.
Yeah.
And now my job is to try to skate hard coming back. But then what they don't, this is the same thing that happened in the last game. Bouchard is skating to get back, but then as soon as he sees the Canucks forward brace himself and stop skating because he's ready to get a rebound, Bouchard has to keep skating there. and he could possibly get a stick on him. Instead, he also stops. Like, he sees the Canucks player stop and start gliding, and then Bouchard's like, oh, I'm going to glide too. This is great. What are you doing? Catch that guy. And there's something else from that play that I saw pop up online last night that, I mean, maybe is a perfect example of why this team is at where they are at right now. And I'll get to that a little bit later on in the show today. But, you know, you completely piss away a good start. The first period, they were really good until Desharnais puts one in his own net. 2 minutes later, what do we call him? Puis?
Pious.
He'll always be pious to me.
Pious, just
why,
exhale.
why would you
Pious.
rather be? Why would you be called Puce instead of pious? Like, that alone doesn't make sense. Makes me want to go back in time and punch that pious guy I worked with in the face even more.
You just take it all out on P.S. Suter today, hey?
Yeah, this is on you,
that's
Puce
heavy bag.
Suter. Like, come on, man. Woodcroft calls the timeout. Yada yada yada. They can't get anything back. Then they get the dry settle goal.
I thought Skinner was getting yanked, to be honest. It's just, I mean,
But what do? You put in another goalie that
No,
apparently the
yeah.
organization doesn't want a piece of anymore? You know, like,
Oh, it's a timeout, yeah.
like, so the Oilers outshoot the Canucks 20-8 in the first, but are down 3-1. In the second period, like, I didn't think, I know some people said, well, Dusty, you know, they made it 3-2. I didn't think there was they made it 3-2 because Demko tried to draw a penalty and gifted them a goal. That's why they made it 3-2, let's be honest. In the second period, the Canucks outshot the Oilers 17-9. You would think if you were down 3-1, you'd come up with a little more piss and vinegar and, I don't know, put up another 20 shots on them. You just proved it was possible in the first. Instead, they get outshot 17-9 in the second period, and then it gets kind of put to bed a little bit later on. Your thoughts on all of it? Let's go. Nasty Chat's already going today. We're going to try to dive into as much of this as we can. And, of course, hit us up at 780-218-9999. That is your Paris Jewelers inbox. Do we still have that bling kicking around? We might have to bring out the bling, the Star Wars bling in the second half of the 6 o'clock hour.
wear it.
Just to, like,
Yeah.
maybe we just put it on today.
That's fine
Have
by
we
me.
put it on yet? You could wear the R2-D2 ring.
Sure.
I'll be that the Mandalorian, the bling or whatever.
Yeah, unbutton a few buttons there. And you
Just yeah. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Probably not gonna happen. Nailed it on Bouchard, guys. Like, what's the point of skating back hard if you're gonna quit partway through?
Well,
Right. That's the thing. Like, he kind of got on his horse a little bit, until he didn't. Like, if he would have just kept going, he at least might have had a chance on Höglander, but he didn't. Pound the box, 780-218-9999. Or hit us up in the nasty chat this morning as well. And we're going to obviously get into this. Let's lay out the show for you this morning. We will have your morning after show brought to you by EM Utility Locating. I mean, at some point, these guys are probably going to have to go and find out where the Oilers bury one of their goaltenders. It'll be somewhere. EM Utility Locating. We'll track them down. We'll get to your steady Eddie of the evening. Try to find somebody on that. More of your reaction, obviously. 6 o'clock hour is basically one big post-game show this morning. Craig Button's going to pop by just after 7 o'clock this morning. I'll bring you guys in on this quickly. So I was having a couple of drinks and a bite to eat with Paul Graham, who's my boss at TSN, and he obviously is great friends with Craig Button. And PG orders like some fries to start, like a starter thing of fries, not like your typical appetizer. But he's like, and we'll get some fries to start. And I was like, well, I got fries coming with my chicken sandwich here. Like, we're getting fries to start. And he goes, it's a Craig Button thing. He goes, Craig Button, whenever he's in Europe, he always orders like fries for the table to start. And I was just like, that's like, have you ever ordered just fries as an appetizer?
It's like a chip or a pretzel with a beer, I guess. You can have a fry. I mean,
I
I'd
don't
say
know.
that
It kind of caught me off
we're so
guard
used
a
to
little
having
bit.
it as the side, and you're right. Now you've got mountains of potatoes staring you in the face.
And in the end, because I had fries coming, I didn't eat any of the Appy fries.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and watched PG eat all the Appy fries.
And you look like a fool.
So
when
I don't
you're
know.
sitting there.
Yeah. Well, you think I look like a fool? I'm
Well,
the fool.
I'm just wondering, is this like the combine test?
I know.
Was he testing you there? Was he have that plate out there to see? Maybe
Should
you
I have
passed.
had a fry?
Maybe you passed because you didn't touch any of
all
his fries,
psychological,
right?
yeah.
Might be it.
But-
I even made a hilarious ketchup joke.
But at the same time, he might have went, and why aren't you touching it? I paid for something for you, and you didn't enjoy this.
Oh, man.
But
Maybe I should have had one or two of these
I
fries.
will say, I don't like that move. I've never seen it. As you said,
That's why I want to bring it up with Button. I'm like,
But
why
now-
are we ordering Applebee's and fries? Like,
did he order that before you ordered?
no, so we ordered. Like they came.
Okay.
He ordered. I ordered, and then he said, he goes, and just a plate of fries.
So you did order.
It all
prior.
kind of ordered at the same
But
time.
it was before that. You didn't you would have had to change your order to not
get
get
away
fries.
from my fries. Yes, correct.
See, that's the thing.
Correct.
Like, if I'm already ordering fries, I don't want more fries. But if that's ordered first, okay, I could maybe do a substitute. Hey, get me a salad instead of
you
the
have
fries.
fair warning
Give me a
now,
baked potato, whatever there might be. I want a substitute because I'm going to have some table fries.
And he had ordered sushi for his meal. So he wasn't getting fries. So he
Sushi
had
and
he had
fries.
fries to start,
The hell is he
and then a
doing?
main plate of sushi. And I just went with your typical, blackened chicken sandwich, Cajun chicken sandwich, and fries. So
I must have want.
I didn't know if I
Button
should
on.
have
I
got
want-
in on these fries.
I must want PG on to talk to him. About
Yeah,
this.
like what's the deal with these fries, man? Like, anyway, we'll get into it with Button. I just felt really awkward. Like, imagine ordering for your meal, you're ordering wings, and then you're like, oh, and we'll also get a starter wings.
I would say you probably should have had about 2 or 3. You should have reached in.
dabbled in the
You should have
fries.
reached in once or twice.
Damn it.
That's what I would say.
Now I'm never going to get the Grey Cup. This is ridiculous.
Well, TV.
Yeah, we'll do it on radio this year, so that's good. Yeah, that'll be fun. Well, maybe I should have done better on the fries. Anyway, Craig Button, he's going to join us. I want to figure out where this fry thing came from. And I love fries. I'm totally on board with fries becoming like a very popular appetizer. It caught me off guard, so I was a little rattled by it. We'll also get Button's thoughts on, what else? Fixing the Edmonton Oilers. Would Craig Button fire everyone? Or would he stay the course? We'll get into your cool bet hotline of the day. Hey, how'd the soccer thing go yesterday? How Monday night? Oh, no. Matt's just shaking his
Wow,
head.
what a rumble, hey?
Yeah, it was a wild red card for Tottenham pretty early in the first half. And
And then they had 2, and then they're playing with 9 men, and they didn't even, they kept going for it.
yeah, it was
It's something to watch. Wow.
things happen.
Yeah.
That's why it was a lean, but also, hey, red
a
cards,
lean.
you never
This
know.
is the best thing
a
about the
lean.
league.
Yeah, you never
I love
know.
it. You can always be like, boys, it's not really technically a
The
loss. It was
good-
just a
Here's
lead.
what soccer.
The great part about it is today is the return of Champions League, baby. So we've got a Champions League.
Champions
line.
League play coming up. He's a Champions League boy. Cool bet hotline of the day around 7:20. Weekly confessions. I know you Oilers fans, with the disaster that this has been, you got to have some good confessions. Like, how many of you last night watching the game from home took off your jersey and threw it down in disgust? Right? How many of you exited from your friends' group chat because you just can't handle it anymore?
That's it. You're
That's
out.
it. I'm out. And he just sees up, Trevor has been removed from the group.
It's like
Has left the
Woodcroft
group.
walking off the bench, eh?
Yeah. I think that's a good one as well. So your confessions, what do you need to get off your chest? We're going to go there for Spectrum Rental around 7:30 this morning. More of your text reaction. Does a coaching change actually fix this? Can they actually somehow trade for a goalie who can stop a lot of grade A chances that they seem to hemorrhage? Like, even after the 5th goal was scored, or was it the 4th goal last night? It was after the JT Miller slapper.
5.
There was like 2 or 3 more point blank opportunities off the rush on Stuart Skinner. Like, the team cannot defend off the rush. It's insane. Joaquin Gage is going to pop by. 3 questions too many. Kind of easy trivia. All that fun stuff on the way in hour number 3. But, of course, your reaction to the hockey game last night. Where did it all go wrong? GSM says Vegas with an 18-point lead over the Oilers already. We don't need to worry about that anymore. That's done. Any thought of winning the division is done. Any thought of home ice in the first round of the playoffs is done. And I think I saw somebody last night. I don't know if it was in the post-game nasty chat or it was on my Twitter feed last night or somebody else's Twitter feed, but I'm pretty sure I saw somebody say, like, the Oilers have a 9% chance of making the playoffs, and only 2 teams that had like 5 points in their first 11 games in the cap era have ever come back to make the playoffs. So maybe we're at the point now where we sound ridiculous even being like, oh, they're going to be a playoff team. Maybe people should be concerned about the playoffs. I still think they're going to be a playoff team. But at the same time, I probably look like an idiot for saying that because they can't get a key save when they need a key save. They are maybe the worst team I've ever seen in the history of hockey in defending off the rush. It's like nobody knows where to go. There's zero communication. And then, they get all pissy at the end of the game because they're losing again. So I said yesterday on the oil stream, I had a massive rant on the oil stream yesterday. I don't want to go back to that level again today, but this team needs to grow up. They just need to, they need to grow up. They need to grow up in the way that they play hockey. They need to grow up with the way that maybe they handle their emotions at sometimes. They need to grow up sometimes in the way that they deal with the media. There's a lot of things. Like this group needs to mature to get to the next level, and you're just not seeing it. Now, I don't know what Leon Draisaitl said to take a 10 last night, but it's never a good look. He must have said something pretty vicious.
Well, it's a good look when he made
dished out a 10.
the duck lips in the box. Did you see that when he looked at the camera? That was a good look. He's goofing. He's clowning around in the box.
Head coach Mike Sullivan guy
Yes.
has texted in this morning. This is a guy who I don't think existed at the old station. Mind you, you couldn't send images at the old station via text. You can now. This guy only texts in quotes from head coach Mike Sullivan.
And yeah, the pictures of the quote, not typed out or
Yeah, no,
just
like
pictures
it's
of the-
screen
I
caps.
love
He's
it.
like 1,000 Mike Sullivan screen caps on his phone. Teams that are hard to play against don't beat themselves, Sullivan said. When you look at the last few games, we're beating ourselves in a lot of ways. That's a quote from head coach Mike Sullivan. Oh, man, this is an early confession. You know what? I'm going to save it. I'm going to save that confession because I wonder if that was something that they bought from us. So we'll save that confession for a little bit later on. You see that one?
Man,
Right? Wouldn't that be something?
if I had a dime for every time I saw that ad pop up
I
over
know,
the summer, like I could have bought 10 of them.
I mean, we'll just get to it then.
Yeah,
Let's just get to
yeah,
it.
yeah.
This text is says, confession, my wife just bought a secondhand jersey for my 2-year-old, a 98 Jesse Puljujärvi, and I love it. And I'm honestly wondering if that's our Jesse Puljujärvi jersey that my wife was trying to sell for like a year and eventually moved it last week.
How many of those are floating around out there right now, right?
There
Like
can't
that-
be
come on,
many
and then
people
that size for the,
selling a child-size Jesse Puljujärvi
just
jersey.
hitting the market, flooding the market.
And that being said, it still doesn't sit well with me that she sold it. I would have rather kept it, as a token of my love. But she sold it, so I wonder if she sold it to this guy, which would really be quite the twist.
Well, they
today.
should keep tabs on it now.
Yeah. Let me know how
It's
it
almost
is.
like JP. He's gone, but you can
I'm
still
just
kinda watch from
happy
afar.
it found a good home with somebody who cares about it.
Well, this is great. Send a picture if you can, please.
Yeah, I wonder if it's
not,
the
eh?
exact same one. 780-218-9999. So Eric's got some more beds that we're gonna mix in today. We're gonna get into the morning after show. So
When do you want to do this?
we're getting into it right
Okay,
away.
okay, Dusty,
We're
can
getting
you
into it
fire
right
up the
away.
computer?
Oh yeah, I'll fire up your computer here. Let me
Yeah,
just
yeah,
fire
yeah.
up your computer.
Yeah, okay.
I'll fire up my computer, and we're starting to kind of hit our groove here. So Eric's got like the voice. I've got the music. And let's see here. Let's go with upbeat.
Oh,
I've labeled this one upbeat. This has got to be good. Let's get into your morning after show. Here we go.
It's time for another morning after show, brought to you by EM Utility Locators, only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Truth be told, I could have had my volume up a bit, so that corrected that.
Say that again.
I had my volume. Let's try it again.
No, here we go.
Yeah.
Now do this now. Go.
It's time for another morning after show, brought to you by EM Utility Locators, only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
I promise I won't be.
I mean, we've buried the lead here. That is a killer beat.
Not bad. Yeah. You
Yeah,
can almost
that-
have that during the morning after.
This
show.
makes me feel like we're doing one of those coffee news shows in the morning. Like, here's the best stories from around the city. LRT is now going. And Steven turned 6.
a coffee
Yeah.
table book of coffee tables.
Yeah. I feel like our old friend Kent Morrison would absolutely love that.
That is Morrison music, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it really is.
You're
Like,
right,
that's a really nice beat. I'm glad that they labeled it as upbeat. That's exactly what it was. All right, let's get into your morning after show brought to you by EM Utility Locating. GPR and concrete scanning, damage prevention, planning design, education and training. They've got you covered at www.emutilitylocating.com. If you are doing anything that you can't see, these guys will help you plan for it, they'll help you execute it, and basically make sure you do it extremely safe. Edmonton Oilers losing last night to the Vancouver Canucks again. What's the old saying? Well, it's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. Unless, of course, it's the 2023-2024 Edmonton Oilers.
Not just beat them.
Like, at this point,
soundedly,
Connor McDavid's on a milk carton. What has happened to Connor McDavid? What was the stat they showed last night? He's 57th in league scoring right now. Usually, Connor McDavid missing a couple of games does not knock him down to barely in the top 60 in league scoring. If he is too injured to be making even remotely close to a regular McDavid impact right now, maybe he shouldn't be playing.
No, you can't. Because a 50% McDavid is still better than most of the players in the NHL, correct? Say it.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, but is he getting better?
No.
Or are you just going to have this lingering lower body, mid-torso
That's what happens.
thing the entire year?
You called it, yeah.
What are you doing? Big moment that happened. What are you going to go with, buddy?
I am going to go with the Höglander goal. And I'm going to go with that one because the second started, they were on the PK. They killed it off. Draisaitl scores the goal. It's a 1-goal game.
Yeah.
It's a 1-goal game. Now, I know, but it's a 1-goal game. Draisaitl erases a 7-game drought.
A positive there.
You can make a case at that point. And again, I know how the second period ultimately went. But when you're coming out of first period like it was, and I know the shots, and I know that has its place as well. I think they came out and did. I mean, I don't know what else aside from getting the puck in the net, right? And Demko's a real good goalie. You can also point to those 3 Canucks goals, and that's an obvious one to end the first. But the second, again, killing that penalty off right off the hop. Draisaitl gets it. It's 3-2 now. You're thinking that maybe if you're looking for something to turn the tide, that's it.
Stop pinching me, man.
The Bouchard pinch.
I know.
That's what
I know.
I'm going a little hard. I should be kind of.
Geez,
I'm trying it
Louise,
for effect, though. That's
no, I get it. I mean,
you're an Oiler fan. Oh,
I guess that's Woodcroft watching Bouchard pinch.
And we've talked about Bouchard. I mean, we don't have to. You say the words Evan Bouchard, and we kind of know the temperature that's going to come. So the Höglander goal to make it 4-2. Canucks then go on to outshoot. Like it was from there to me that the game could have been in the balance, and the Canucks took it from there. And again, off a Bouchard pinch, but then, as you correctly mentioned as well, not getting back and tracking.
That was a killer. I mean, I got a couple other moments too, but
credit to Thatcher Demko in going out and flubbing it. I mean, I'm not giving Draisaitl flowers or anything, but in that case, 3-2 is better than 3-1. So
it was. Let me ask this because you make a great point. I saw some people blaming Skinner for that goal. I mean, he stops a 2-on-1. Yeah, there's a rebound, but that's going to happen when there's a hot shot coming in on a 2-on-1. The bottom line is Bouchard should have kept skating and tied up Höglander. That's what happens. Teams need to get to these rebounds. The Oilers aren't getting to them. But what stings more? Like, what goal had you more last night? Like, what goal had you more Ben Affleck with the smoke photo? You know, the one where he's standing outside and he's just like, oh, my life, millions and millions of dollars, but I'm still so unhappy. The one that Desharnais puts into his own net that you can't blame Skinner for, or the Suter goal, which you would have liked Skinner to have, and you go down 2-1. Like, you're cruising along. It's been a great period. You're up 1-0, and then Desharnais puts one in your own net, and you're like, damn it. And then there's one that your goaltender would probably like to have back. So I'm asking you Oilers fans right now, if you're listening this morning, 780-218-9999, or in the nasty chat, which one of those burned you more? I'm not too sure. Like, it sounds crazy to say the second one, but at the same time, it's like to say it's the second one. The first one, and one of your guys put it in their own net.
But 1-1.
You know, I know, and 1-1. I get it. I guess
trying
maybe you can get away with that. But yeah, Rob says the 2-1 goal. After the first one went in, you knew the second one was coming. totally deflating. Desharnais wouldn't make anyone's team, yet he's in our top 4. SMH, which means shake my head. Right?
Well, I think multiple people online and elsewhere last night going over the blue line and saying this guy's not a 1, he's more of a this and this. Whatever they are now, you can subtract a few numbers. If you're a 2, you're a 4, and it goes on from there. Yeah. So,
JCD780 says, to be fair, if Desharnais didn't get a stick on that pass, it was a tap-in for Vancouver. Or, dare I say, maybe he ties up the man. Maybe instead of going after the puck, Desharnais goes, you know what, I'm gonna lift your stick up and make sure you can't score this, instead of saying, you know what, I'll finish it off for you.
Yeah, smart defensive play there.
Tie up the man. Tie up the man. It shouldn't have been a tap-in backdoor. He should have had his man tied up. At least instead of putting it in your own net, tie the other guy up so he can't score on a possible tap-in. So, yeah, there's a few things last night that could have been your EST big moment that happened. If you're watching this morning, hammer the thumbs up, the likes. Yeah, tough one last night. Let's get to some post game. Let's go Connor McDavid. Here's what Connor McDavid had to say after the game last night.
Good start. Maybe just again not quite getting what you want.
Yeah, I mean, obviously frustrating. I felt like we did a lot of good things in the first period and find ourselves down and chasing the game again.
What did you think happened in the third there with Miller? It's just maybe what you felt, maybe with JT Miller and just the stuff that happened then at the other end of the ice. It just maybe frustration boiling over for everybody, not just you specifically.
I thought. I gave him a good shot. He gave me a good shot coming in front of the net, and just shoved him back. Nothing crazy, and Himes jumps in. Obviously appreciate that, and then in the other end, not frustration at all. The guy turns into me, and I keep going, and they call the penalty. So that wasn't frustration. That was just trying to play hockey, and Kelly obviously saw something that. He felt like it was a penalty, and not frustration there.
What goes through your mind when Jay gets ejected?
Nothing really. He's a passionate guy, like we all are. That happens.
For you guys, you dominated the first 11 minutes. I mean, the shots I think were 19-2, and then when they tied it out of nowhere, it just seemed like you guys deflated a bit. How do you prevent that from happening when you've got the game? In control, it seems like.
Yeah, like I said, I thought we did a lot of good things in the first period and found ourselves down and chasing a hockey game.
All right, so there you go. That is Connor McDavid. We might hear from Jay Woodcroft here as well in the 6 o'clock hour. We'll save that. Maybe we'll whip through a few more elements of the morning after show, and if we have time before 7 o'clock, we will get to Jay Woodcroft. I think it was Spec that asked him about Bouchard and accountability. Thought that was a little bit of an interesting answer as well. Fergie's prostate says, Dusty, I might have a tie that goes with that shirt today. Hey. I've decided I'm wearing plaid until the Oilers win a game, because this is a workman's type shirt, and it's time to get to work and get a dub. Now, I don't know if I would have said that if it wasn't the Sharks.
Well, I was going to say, it's the Sharks coming. That's not very...
Let me have it. I mean, that still means I would have wore plaid Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's the longest plaid run that we've had here at Edmonton.
What are you going to wear if they win, though?
Back to black T-shirts.
Well, I'm just saying, all I've ever really
Did you ever get your Goonie shirt?
So quick story on the Goonie shirt. It did show up, but it showed up as a 5XL. You should see this thing on me. It looks like a moo-moo. It comes down to my bloody knees. All three of us could fit in this thing. So I get so excited. I'm like, my Goonies shirt. My Goonies shirt has arrived. And I open it up, and I pull it out. And I'm talking, man, the thing is like, if Eric and I held it up, it would stretch across between us. So, yeah. In fact, it's still sitting there. If anybody wears 5XL and wants
you're not
Goonie
returning
shirt,
it?
I'll give it to somebody.
Beach towel.
Well, you're not going to return and get the proper size?
Well, I'm just going to reorder a double XL. But if somebody wants it, if we have any 5XLers listening.
Why wouldn't you just send it back?
Well, because I wouldn't mind giving a Goonie shirt to somebody.
Not a lot of 5XLs out there.
Yeah, no, I guess. 5XL, man. Like that's a big shirt.
Custom made.
That's a big shirt. Elizabeth goes, I put it on. I opened it up downstairs and I put it on, and I come walking upstairs and I'm like, look at this thing. I said to Tam, should I wear it? She goes, are you ridiculous? I said, what about just around the house? Like I wouldn't have to wear pants with this thing. It would be like a nightie. And
That's what I.
Yeah, and then Elizabeth, the Muzz, is like, Daddy, let me try it on. Let me try it on. So the Muzz put it on. Her whole body disappears. So
I want you walking around the house barefoot.
in just a
Maybe some underwear on.
sloth.
That's your sleep now.
That's
your sleepwear.
I should climb into bed one night wearing this 5XL Goonies t-shirt and see if Tam wants some sexy time. Like I highly doubt it. Calvin C is in it, says, Dusty, hang the Goonie shirt in studio in the wall behind you. I would basically take up the entire bloody wall. I'll bring this thing in. I'll show you what happened. If somebody was really talented, you could probably cut it up and turn it into 2 shirts. Like if you're a seamstress or something. I mean, that's probably something that you could do. Guys, the nighty Dusty thing needs to be a win until needs to be a thing until the Oilers win. Just around the house, like I come up and pretend it's like attractive. Like, oh look, you see my boxers a little bit. Like this is great.
Well, you got to go full.
Anyway, I know I didn't order a 5XL. I think it's just one of these sketchy T-shirt companies online who are like, they're gonna get a random size. So yeah, I'm a double XL guy, not a 5XL guy. My goodness. All right, super stat of the night, Rick. What do we got? Super stat of the night last night.
Game, the super stat of the night. Man, I wasn't prepared for this one. The shots during the first. I mean, you piss away that many. I don't know. You had to have gotten at least more than one getting out of that first period. You'd think with the effort put in. I know Thatcher Demko had a good showing again, but great goalie. Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go with the first period. Shooting the lights out, not getting anything for it. 3-1 after one.
I mean,
it's lack of super, I know, but when the Oilers lose, my super stat usually goes to the less than.
I'm going to go to the Vancouver Canucks for my super stat of the night. I'm just going to go with Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes had a goal and 3 assists last night. He has had a phenomenal season. Him and Hronek are out there all the time. They played like 22 and 24 minutes last night. And I thoroughly enjoy watching Quinn Hughes play hockey. Like when he gets that puck at the right point and starts busting kind of in the neutral or in the offensive zone and kind of starts busting across the middle, I'm very excited. I'm like, what's he gonna do with it? He's phenomenal. He's absolutely outstanding. So yeah, I know it's not like an Oilers positive, but there's not a lot to take out of that last night. So I will go Quinn Hughes. Excellent game last night. Best player on the ice in my opinion. The 3 stars of the game last night, Quinn Hughes, Thatcher Demko, and Brock Besser. Who was the 4th star of the game last night, Rick?
Hughes, Regan, and Besser. Well, Hronek?
Yeah,
Sure.
that's a legit NHL top pairing on the blue line, right? It's
could probably pick a couple other players as well from the Canucks. Like I'm not going to give Draisaitl for the 7-game drought or whatever it was, but no, there's really nothing else to talk about when it comes to the orange and blue. Hey,
38th star of the game. I have not been a pile on the goaltenders guy. I don't know if trading for a goalie saves the season, or can they trade for a goaltender? But an 8:33 last night and a back-breaker second goal. Now, what you would like is to see the team not give up the third one and actually go get after it. Where you take a bad penalty and another one ends up in the back of the net. So I would have rather seen, after that bad goal, the team keep doing what they did for the entire first period up until that point, which was absolutely push the pace of play. They did not. Instead, they took a penalty, and the third goal ends up in the back of the net. But Stuart Skinner, 833 save percentage last night. He'll be the 38th star of the game. And now the steady Eddie of the evening. This is really, really challenging. Like, the crew over at EM Utility Locating was like, we'd like to do something where you kind of reward like the guy who flies under the radar a bit, but is still somewhat effective.
Lunch pails and all that. Hey?
Yeah.
Plaid shirts.
The steady Eddie.
Somebody wants your shirt in that. H.E. Pennypacker wants the shirt, the 5XL shirt. And trade for that, eh?
There's a good chance the Sloth Hearts Chunk Goonie shirt probably would have rolled out a 9-10 last night between the pipes. Let's see. Steady Eddie of the evening last night.
I see a lot of plus zeros.
Well, I'm trying to think of. I kind of liked Darnell Nurse last night.
Okay.
I thought he was aggressive.
8 hits.
I thought he was physical. He ends up finishing the game +1. He had 8 hits last night.
8 hits. So the counter says.
I thought that was an engaged Darnell Nurse last night, and it's not very often that Darnell Nurse is going to fit into the category of the Steady Eddie of the evening here for EM Utility Locating, but let's do it for last night. Darnell Nurse will be your Steady Eddie of the evening. Morning After Show brought to you by EM Utility Locating, GPR and concrete scanning, damage prevention. Boy, damage prevention. The Oilers could use some of that right now, couldn't they? Planning, design, education, and training. Get it all, www.emutilitylocating.com. And when you're needing to do some work that you can't see because it's underground, EM Utility Locating is the place for you. All right, should we get to Jay Woodcroft so we see what Woody had to say? Foul-mouthed guy. Actually, turns out, listen, he says, I didn't even.
Clean,
it was not
clean cheeks.
Not a nasty little rant there. Let's find out what Jay Woodcroft had to say after the game last night.
Through maybe if you can tell us what you said or what happened between yourself and the referee to get you ejected from the game.
At the end of the game there, yeah. You know what, it was I asked about the play on Holloway. And, it wasn't not profanity laced or anything like that. It was a question. It wasn't well received when I asked the question. And in the end, I got to be better. I can't take a penalty to put our team down. But I didn't think it crossed the line at all. But it was sometimes the way you send a message or ask a question, the way it's received might be not in the manner you intended to. And in the end, the reason I asked that question, I thought it was similar to the penalty that McDavid took to go down 4-on-3. So I thought it was a fair question. He didn't, and in the end, I got to be better. I can't ask that question, apparently.
How tough is that when you guys collectively are trying not to show frustration and when something like that
Yeah,
happens?
you know what? I think frustration would be a profanity-laced tirade. That's not what that was. It was a question. It was a fair question. And, you know what? It ended up costing us. I can be better. It cost us because, we were at the tail end of a power play there, and it cost us the ability to try and find one on the power play. Didn't cost us a goal against on the penalty, but certainly I can be better in that situation.
I asked you this morning about defending and keeping the puck out of your net, and the first thing you said was we need to bury some offensively first. Is that what the first 11 minutes felt like when you're out shooting them 19-2 and you only get one goal at that point?
Yeah, I thought we did a lot of good things. We came out and asserted the way we wanted to play. I think their first goal we shot in our own net, which is never fun. Second goal we can be better on. But I liked the fight in our team. I thought our team competed hard. We found a way to make it 3-2. We gave one up on the fourth one that, we didn't love. Come out of the first shift and in the third period, there was a disallowed goal that we thought was a fair goal. Apparently there was conclusive evidence to overturn it, and it didn't go our way after that.
Jay, from the time it turned 2-1,
yeah,
your team wasn't the same team as it was before. Are you getting the goaltending you need? Is your team sagging here because you're not getting that goaltending?
Well, I think you've heard me say this a million times. Our goaltenders wear the same jerseys as the rest of the team. Is there moments that our goaltenders can be better? Yeah, there are. Is there moments that our team or individual players at different positions can be better? Yeah. The nature of that position is that you're the last line, so if the mistake is made, it ends up in the net. If you're a forward, you make a mistake, it's usually away from the net. There's other people that can help cover.
It's a stark contrast. Demko's holding them in through 19 shots. Your guy's on 4 shots, there's 2 goals.
Yep.
That's got to be what's killing you,
Well, we didn't like looking up and seeing the score, in a period that we felt that way. But sometimes that happens. You can't script perfect hockey games. Sometimes another team's goaltender stands on their head and you give up a few mistakes and it ends up in the back of the net, whether that's a goaltender or a player. It's not fun, but we can collectively be better. And if I know that, I understand the nature of your question.
The 4-2 goal, you guys are in a tight 3-2 hockey game. You're on the road, you fought back, it's 3-2.
Yep.
Bouchard makes a pinch, and then he doesn't hustle back, and his guy scores. And he doesn't miss a shift. You use the word accountability a lot. Is there enough accountability for that player in that moment?
Well, accountability in how so? Do you mean in
He
piping
cost you
them
a
in?
really
Yeah,
important goal,
yeah.
and he didn't miss a shift.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, where we're at, I would say, we had 6 D-men, and, can he be better on that play? Yeah, he can. I'm not gonna dress that one up in any way. In fact, if one thing, you look at how Draisaitl back-checked, put his head down, he's on the face-off dot, and he came back with reckless abandon. That's the type of effort that we're looking for in that type of situation. Can Evan be better in that? Yeah, he can. But when you're down, and your top point producing D-man is part of helping you get back into a situation, are there times for accountability? Sure there are. Is there times for trying to find a way to come back in that game? Yeah, there are too. And so you learn from your mistakes, and in the end we can be better on that one. I was in the room, so I didn't even see it. I thought what I saw on television, I thought we could have handled that play a lot better. I thought they went cross ice at the blue line. It was something we talked about, and we can handle that situation better. In the end, we didn't find our result tonight.
So there you go. That is Jay Woodcroft following the game last night. A couple of things coming out of that. One would be Jay Woodcroft getting ejected last night. Now, he did say he simply asked a question. I think he might not have swore, but there had to have been a snarky comment there that ends up getting him ejected.
It wasn't profanity laced.
Yeah.
You could still you could still drop one in there ever so.
Yeah,
subtly,
he kind of made it sound like all I did was ask a question and they kicked me out.
It wasn't all swearing.
He obviously had to say something. NHL coaches don't get kicked out of hockey games on a regular basis. So, I mean, to me, you might want to describe it as passion, like McDavid getting fired up, Draisaitl taking a 10 for voicing his opinion, their head coach getting ejected for voicing his opinion. Is that something that you look at and go, oh, yeah, look, they're fired up. This is good. This is good. Or do you look at it and go, my God, this looks pathetic. Like you're losing another hockey game. You're about to fall to 2-8-1 on the year, and you just look like a bunch of whiny babies taking 10s and getting ejected at the end of the game. There's two ways you can look at it. I'm very curious to see which sort of angle you, the fans who are listening and watching this morning, would view that. Like, did you like seeing them kind of come unhinged at the end of the game as opposed to simply just going through the motions for another loss? Or did you look at it and go, this give a damn, if you want to call that, is too little too late, and you just look like a bunch of poor sports who are losing a rec league game late on the night and you want to do something stupid. So
a product of that frustration, but not you getting that frustration from within, right? Like not you getting mad at the situation. It's just the situation's pissed you off so much, and then you become, as we're using the term today, unhinged.
This text is in and says, shouldn't we be texting in? What did Woody say to the refs? Yeah, we could definitely do that. Could be how you win text of the day for A&W. We got a gift certificate to A&W. You can get your hands on $20 gift card. What did Jay Woodcroft say to the official?
Sir, please, if you will, a moment of your time.
Out! You're out of here!
And did you see when he didn't even look back really? The ref was skating away out, done.
Your breath stinks. You're out of here, Woody.
Please, a spare moment as he's skating by. He just holding.
Daddy, what are you doing to Mommy?
You went there.
What did Jay Woodcroft say that got him booted out? Hit us up, 780-218-9999. Listen, you mother fudger. That call was doo-doo. Your mother must be proud. Signed, Woody. So yeah, there's
It was the doo-doo part.
there's a
that really
few.
sent them
Maybe
over the edge, yeah.
maybe that's the one.
This is how we got through these things at the old place, right? This is
Exactly.
how we got through.
Exactly. Who's this? Peter in the nasty chat this morning. Big 4-pointer coming up against the San Jose Sharks. If they lose to San Jose, everybody should be fired. It's just that simple. You can't lose to the San Jose Sharks. Teams have been putting up, multiple teams have scored 10 goals against them. This is the ultimate slump buster setup. It's really like, who cares? Go out, beat the Sharks. Ooh, whoopity-doo, Basil. What does it all mean? And then it's like what you do against Seattle, right? That's what people would look at right now. Yeah, so what did Woody say to get ejected? 780-218-9999. I want to get to this text. I think it's pretty well thought out. They don't put their name on it, but discipline, accountability, maturity, take your pick. Probably all of the above. They don't hate losing more than they want to win. Their behavior is that of a spoiled, entitled child, and until they grow up and get to work, this is what we will get. You can see it almost every single game. The moment where the Oilers fold is because the other team showed up and is playing like they didn't get the memo that the Oilers are the consensus Stanley Cup contender/winners. Fire there as well. Now, I was already going to get into this today because I saw it on Twitter and on our YouTube chat last night on the very successful post-game show. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, you're there with us every pre- and post-game, you are missing out on what we believe is the best Oilers post-game content in the city. And then Woodcroft brought it up as well. People praising, including his own coach, people praising Leon Draisaitl for a hard back check are missing the point. We should not be at this stage of his career, and when he back checks hard, you go, wow, you see, Leon really back checked. That should be the standard. That shouldn't be, like, when Leon Draisaitl back checks hard, it shouldn't stand out as one of the highlights of the bloody season. And last night, when everybody's bitching about Bouchard, which clearly was a major, major issue, I saw people like, yeah, but look at Draisaitl on his horse. That's how it should be every single time this team back checks. Instead, it's so rare that Leon Draisaitl skates hard on a back check, like every other successful team in the league has every single player do all the time, that it's like some sort of, oh, man, great back check by Leon Draisaitl. Dude's almost a decade into his career. We're identifying back checks as great moments. That's because this team doesn't do that on a regular basis, which just blows my mind. That I saw last night on those, oh, man, you know, on a bright note, like Leon came back really hard. What? It's the National Hockey League. It should be expected to be that way every single time. And that's what, like, that just very much encapsulates, is that the word? I think I'm looking for that word. Encapsulates. Correct. All right. That's what it does. Yeah. The entire picture of the Edmonton Oilers, that even the head coach in his bloody post game goes, yeah, no, nice back check by Leon. Back checks should never be pointed out as great. They should just always happen. So, like, I saw that last night, and I saw people praising him for his back check, and I just thought, here's the issue. You're praising one of the best players in the league for actually trying hard on defense. And you wonder why the team's an absolute train wreck. But that was the moment where I was just like, they just don't get it. Like, when one of your guys back checks hard, it shouldn't be throw a bunch of praise at him. Look at him. He's doing what should be expected by every first, second, third, fourth liner and every defenseman who gets caught up the ice ever. So
what's the package? In a deal.
Yeah, well,
I mean, because if it's not happening now, is it going to happen? And maybe this is it. Maybe this is the Leon Draisaitl all along.
I don't know who or what they would trade to get out of this slump. I think Tommy said it yesterday in the oil stream. Like Sean Bell, I think Belsey makes a great point on it. Former player himself. You know, they need like a shock. They need like a shock to the system. They need like a reset somehow. If it's the coach, it's the coach, I guess. But I feel like the players need some sort of shock to the system. Matty, what do you think?
That's the coach. Because you look at the players, you're not trading Connor or Leon. you're not getting a goalie. Like, let's be, what goalie are you getting? What team is going to give you a goalie right now that's going to solve the Oilers' problems?
I did see somebody mention Varlamov with the Islanders, I think. I mean,
Okay, maybe.
But you're gonna have to pay a hefty price.
Well, now what do the Islanders want for that?
save
And with
the
that, you have
season,
to give them Jack. They have to be able to take on Campbell's contract.
Yeah.
Right, to make
Teams
the
are
money work
lining
and
up
stuff.
to do all
No one's
these.
lining up to
Yeah.
help the Edmonton Oilers. So goaltending, finding that capable goaltending is tough. But also that doesn't change your defense as well. You can't trade Nuge because he's going to say no unless you're trading him to a contender. But if you trade him to a contender, what are you getting back? These teams
Not
generally
anything that a contender needs to win a cup, right?
they're going to keep their players because they're going. So you're not getting if you're starting to sell off in a way, you're not getting the players that are going to help you. So like, there's just a lot. I go along the line and go, I don't see a lot. That said, you also go, Ken Holland's a $5 million GM, the highest paid GM. Go find something. Go make it work. That's why you're the highest paid GM in the hockey. But that's why I come back to it's the coach. It's just you want that shock to the system. We've watched enough sports to know that can do it. And either we're going to be talking about a coaching change on Friday if they lose to the Sharks, or we're talking about a coaching change Sunday, Monday if they lose to the Kraken. I don't think they can afford to have a single loss.
They got to sweep the next
I don't.
two.
Oh, I don't think you can afford a loss. I don't think you can afford to be at that point and not having won back-to-back games this season. Sharks one is an easy one. You lose to the Sharks.
No, it's not.
Well, but for the change, no,
I get what you
for
mean,
a change.
Okay,
If you lose to the Sharks,
for a change, yeah.
something happens on Friday. Whether you've traded someone, whether you fired the coach,
Sharks
whether
to the
you
bottom.
fired Ken Holland, whatever it might be, you lose to the Sharks, something's happening on Friday. We've all seen that in sports enough to know that. But even if they beat the Sharks, this is a no-win situation for the Oilers. Cool, you beat the Sharks.
Yeah.
And that's why I go, okay, you got to go beat the Kraken then. But if you lose to the Kraken, you got to do something at this point because you're less than 14 days away from American Thanksgiving. You were so behind the 8 ball.
And you beat the
When are you going to start winning? Right? But that shock to the system, I don't see that trade being there. I just don't. So it's going to be the coach, and it's going to be, okay, who's the coach? Is it Glenn Gulletson just going to become the interim? Is it Gallant's coming in?
It can't be that. Nothing against Gully, but it can't just
more
be
the same.
Yeah.
Well,
what's supposed to change?
It's got to be
there?
the right person
You
that
can't
comes
do that.
in, and I don't know who else is really out there, too, with that move. That is just a slam dunk no-brainer outside of me saying Gallant a few times.
Yeah.
There's no other person that I could point to. I'll say Oiler fans are lucky Mike Babcock had his thing in Columbus. If he didn't sign in Columbus and then get fired before the season starts, what's the chance Ken Holland's bringing Mike Babcock in this season?
Man, would that have been a disaster?
I'm telling you that they're lucky that everything transpired with Columbus and Babcock this year.
This text is in this morning, 780-218-9999. I coach U13. I praise them for back checking all the way back to the net. ... Minor hockey. That's minor hockey. It's like Woody last night when Dries, go Leon, you got him. Keep going, Leon. Oh, good boy, Leon. That's how you back check. Stop praising these guys for doing something that they're supposed to do every single time. That's the level of entitlement that makes them think they're gods and they don't need to do it all the time. It's just, yeah, that was, of all the things that happened last night, hearing the coach praise Leon Draisaitl for back-checking hard might be the thing that drove me crazy the most. And there was a lot that could drive people crazy last night. But that's got to be right up there. Right up there. All right, things Woody said to the official to get ejected. E-Town Beatdown is in to the Paris Jewelers inbox. Woody said French's ketchup is better than Heinz. Try it. What'd you say? What'd you say to me? You know I'm a Heinz guy. You're out of here, Woodcroft. I like that. Sean says Woody didn't drop any expletives, but called the ref a cotton-headed ninny muggins, which I think is from the movie Elf, right? Isn't that from the movie Elf? I think it's from the movie Elf. Guys, this team needs to fire Woody to bring in Joel Quenneville, or the team is doomed.
Coach Q.
Quenneville's not happening after more rape accusations coming out of the Chicago Blackhawks organization. So that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, keep your thoughts rolling in here. It was interesting. Stoff, future Nielsen Show guest and huge fan of the show, on the intermission last night brought up the American League goaltenders and how they both have like the best save percentages in the American League, and the Oilers are rolling with the two worst. Like, do you think how do you do it? I don't even know how you would call a goalie up at this point.
RCN says that if you waive Jack Campbell and he goes to the minors and you bring up Pickard, you save like a couple $100,000, which is for this team actually a lot of money.
Is that what happens? Is that the shock to the system?
Who was the goalie that the Kings put on waivers last year? Forgot.
Cop?
Maybe.
Not Cop. Yeah. Was it Cop? No.
Phoenix.
I can't.
They weren't afraid to put someone on waivers. If I'm not mistaken.
Jonathan Quick?
No.
No, he was gone already.
No, it wasn't Quick. Wait, it wasn't gone yet.
Who was it? Somebody message us and let us know. Just look at their roster last year, and I don't remember this.
Cal Peterson.
Oh, Cal Peterson. He was a decent ticket size guy, right?
And they weren't afraid to throw him on
good
waivers.
Pull, Matty.
So, at some point, you got to do something. And maybe that's the shock to the system. Your quote-unquote starting goalie or whatever, your big-ticket goalie, is being sent to Bakersfield unless he gets claimed off waivers to bring up Calvin Pickard. Maybe that sends the message to the locker room. Maybe the Oilers need to send Bob Stauffer onto this program. Hasn't happened.
We've been offering it up.
Shock.
We've been offering up.
And they're not winning. No. They're not winning hockey games. Maybe Bob Stauffer needs to make an appearance on the Nielsen Show to turn this around.
Stuart Skinner needs to shave his mustache. All right, we got Craig Button coming up. He's going to be waiting. Let's get to a sports rewind with Lieutenant Eric and Craig Button on the other side to fix everything that ails the Edmonton Oilers.
Oilers suffer yet another defeat, 6-2 to the Canucks. Jay Woodcroft tossed in the loss. Oilers now 2-8-1. They sit 7th in the Pacific and will visit the 8th place Sharks Thursday. Elsewhere last night, Leafs down 4-1. They'd end up defeating Tampa 6-5 in overtime. Jeremy Swayman, 35 saves. Bruins win in Dallas 3-2. And Carter Verhaeghe with the overtime winner. Panthers skating to a 5-4 win over Columbus. Austin Eckler with a pair of touchdowns. Chargers grounding the Jets 27-6 on your Monday nighter. You can join me Thursday at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, and the Bears take on the Panthers. It'll be your next chance to qualify into a draw for a trip for two to LA to catch the Rams and Browns. Over to the NBA, where the Knicks spoiled James Harden's Clippers debut with a 111-97 win from MSG in a busy night around the association. Heat would hold on to knock off LeBron and the Lakers 108-107, while Giannis had 36 in a 129-125 Bucks victory over the Nets. And match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League group stage begins later this morning and into the afternoon with 8 matches, including Borussia Dortmund hosting Newcastle and AC Milan at home to PSG. Sports Rewind, brought to you by Universal Rewind, reminding you that regular motor maintenance will prevent costly downtime. Contact them today to learn more about their motor maintenance services. Choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk. NHL analyst Craig Button, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.704 on a Tuesday morning. You are riding with the Nielsen Show once again, trying to guide you through a turbulent Tuesday here in Edmonton. Our next guest, Craig Button, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned fan gear and fan cave specialists, located on St. Albert Trail, 1 block north of Yellowhead, or online at proamsports.ca. Like you, they're fans too. You could go in there and talk with the Cooks and Boys, I don't know, for the entire day today about the Edmonton Oilers. And Craig Button joins us now. Craig, can it get any worse? Let's just start there.
Yeah, it can get worse.
Ooh,
and the way it gets worse is if they go to San Jose and lose. I mean, San Jose is an American Hockey League team. So if the Edmonton Oilers lose to an American Hockey League team, next Tuesday we can talk about the draft, the 2024 draft for the Edmonton Oilers, and who might be available for them in the top 5. That's the only way it gets worse. I mean, Pittsburgh was struggling, And then, oh boy, we get to go to San Jose. They put up 10. I think that the tonic that ails the Edmonton Oilers today is there for the cure when they play San Jose. But their problems are far more than just beating San Jose. I mean, just because you beat an American Hockey League team doesn't cure your ills. And the ills that ail the Edmonton Oilers are numerous.
What is the most glaring thing that you think hurts them right now?
Well, what I think is the number of quality chances they give up. I mean, they give up quality chance after quality chance after quality chance. And then you combine that with subpar goaltending, and it's an absolute recipe for disaster. That's what it is. I mean, the Oilers, who played so well down the stretch, and let's kind of define it. Once they got Ekholm in their lineup, they really played well defensively. I don't know where that has gone. I don't know why they've played so poorly defensively, but that has been a huge problem. And along with that, Stuart Skinner was a big part of that success. So those things go hand in hand. And it has been the problems hand in hand that have really plagued the Edmonton Oilers at this point in time. After the Calgary Flames game, we're going, okay, there's signs. It was really good. I mean, it's gotten worse since before the Calgary game now for the Edmonton Oilers.
Craig, if they are playing an AHL team in the Sharks on Thursday, would it not make sense to kind of fight fire with fire and go down to Bakersfield and call up a couple of these goalies that they have? Or
Yeah, if the Edmonton Oilers are going to play defense like they've been playing defense, you can put Jeremy Swayman in the net. You can put two goaltenders in the net. It's not going to make a difference. Like, when I say it goes hand in hand, it goes hand in hand. I mean, what they give up, and you know what really bothers me? It's like a careless attitude towards defense. Like it's one thing to be struggling because you're not good enough. I mean, the Vancouver Canucks last year, and even before that last year, they weren't good enough because they didn't have enough quality. It wasn't because they didn't try. They just weren't good enough. The careless attitude towards defense by the Edmonton Oilers is appalling. Like, you can work to be in good position. You can work you can work to get back. And sometimes you're going to be overmatched against a player that's a little bit better than you. That happens. But the lack of what I would call purpose and effort and their defensive play, there's no other word I could use. It's shocking and appalling.
So is that a coach-driven thing, or this has to be that has to be on the players, right? Like, I don't know how the coach is supposed to make these guys want to commit defensively when other coaches haven't been able to do it either.
You're exactly right, Dustin. I mean, like, a coach cannot instill care into the players. Like, that comes from the players. If you're going to care about defensive play, if you're going to care about the details of the game, if you're going to care about important areas on the ice where you don't want to give your opponent an advantage, the coach can tell you, hey, like, you know, Dustin, you can go into the locker room, the dressing room. You and Lieutenant Eric can go in there and screen and go, hey, listen, we got to defend this area in front of the net, and we got to make sure we don't let lateral passes go across, and we can't make giveaways at the offensive blue line, right? Like, you can say all those things. It's obvious, isn't it? You don't think Jay Woodcroft is telling them that? The carelessness of the players' defense is on the players and on the players solely. It's on them.
Yesterday after the game, Woodcroft was pushed by Speck from Sportsnet on the accountability of certain guys, one being Bouchard, who had a horrible pinch and ended up leading to the fourth goal in a 3-2 game. And Woodcroft did say, you know, the reason he didn't bench him in that situation is because they need him for his offense, and there's certain times, so hold guys accountable, and there's certain times, I guess, not to do it. Just your thoughts on when you don't have 2 or 3 extra bodies around so you can healthy scratch somebody because they just can't do that because of the cap. Your thoughts on Jay Woodcroft not holding Bouchard accountable in a number of different occasions this year when he could have?
He bailed on it. You know, I remember Bob Gainey was coaching our team in Minnesota, and the player will remain nameless. But the player was a pretty good offensive player, and he kept doing the same things Evan does. You know, and then, you know, oh, you got to put me out there because I finally Bob turned to him right on the bench and he said, He said, "Stop looking at me. You're not going back on the ice." He goes, "I get it." He goes, "You put us in the hole, and now you're looking at me to tell us, hey, put me out there so I can get us out of the hole." He goes, "Don't put us in the hole to begin with. Accountability, that's on Jay. And that excuse is garbage and it's BS. That is a coach not doing his job. And you know what? When the guy gets you into the hole and, oh, yeah, we're going to need him. No, you don't. No, you don't. You put him right on the pine."
You send a message. Or I'm assuming in Dallas you just played Yuri Lettinen more because you never had to worry about that guy on the defensive side of the ice. That just would lead to more ice time for Yuri Lettinen. Like,
the message got very clearly through to the player. The player got it.
Okay.
Let me be very clear. The player got it. And, and the player was, but you start being careless and you start thinking, oh, I'm just going to keep going out there. No, not going to happen. Don't put us in the hole in the first place.
That's the other thing. You talked about how the commitment to defense or the ability to play defense properly just doesn't exist. I was frustrated last night. I saw online on the fourth goal, the one that Bouchard pinched on and then didn't get back to pick up Höglander. Draisaitl actually did back check there, and people were like, "What a back check by Leon!" And then Jay Woodcroft last night points out, Draisaitl a really good back check, and I'm sitting here going, you shouldn't be praising people for back checks. Like, it should not stand out that somebody back checked. Like, that should be something that's just accepted and expected every single time, right? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
I never celebrate work ethic. Work ethic is it's like saying, can you believe his heart was beating? He was exhaling and inhaling. It's unbelievable how well he exhaled and inhaled. I don't celebrate work ethic. That's a minimum requirement for going to work. I mean, you guys get up early in the morning and go to work. It's work ethic. And I'm not celebrating. You guys do a great job and you're prepared. But you're going to celebrate a back check? And back to Bouchard. How about I think it was last game too, when he just let the player just skate right in between. Yeah, it was Nashville. Here, just take this path to the net.
That was Dallas. That was Rupe Hintz in Dallas.
That's right. Yeah. It was, sorry, I knew it was right.
Yeah.
And, Evan should have been auditioning to go to Disney World and guide people into the magical kingdom.
We laugh about this tire fire of a team here, but so actually, I want to get your what do you think of Connor McDavid lately? Because it's very understandable that he would be playing through something, considering he missed a couple of games less than 2 weeks ago, and they said he was going to be out 1 to 2 weeks, but he was only out 6 days. But he's 60th in league scoring right now. He hasn't scored since the game against Nashville on October 17th. Do you have any thoughts on what's not there for him right now?
Well, I would have to think there's something ailing him. He's too great a player for something not to be ailing him. And, coming back, I get it. You want to play in the Heritage Classic game. I understand all that. But, when you look at Connor and how dangerous he is, even when he doesn't score, the danger in Connor's game is much reduced per game as compared to last year and previous years. So we know it's down, right? And to me, I'm going to default mainly to the injury. I also believe that Connor's spirit is dampened right now.
Yeah.
His focus is one thing. It's to win a Stanley Cup and to do everything he can to help a team win. And so you combine the team playing so bad, his injury and his goal of being a Stanley Cup champion. I think there's some dampening of the spirit there. You're chasing games. You're not good. I think that Connor knows that this team isn't anywhere near good enough to compete for a Stanley Cup because he saw what happened against Colorado. He saw what happened against Vegas. These are smart players. Connor knows, and the team isn't good enough.
Can you LTIR for a dampened spirit or anything like that? I'm searching for things here, Craig. We're searching.
Hey, Eric, I will tell you, and I'm not trying to say that Connor's a competitor and everything, but I think that he is ailing in some area, with that. But when players know that you're not good enough to win, that is a damnation on the organization. And quite frankly, it's a damnation on Ken Holland.
Well, that's where I wanted to go next here. Is if you're Ken Holland or Jeff Jackson or Paul Coffey or whoever's making decisions here right now, what would you do? What would you do, Craig? Like, is it a trade? Is it a coaching change? Is it a telling them this is the group, get the hell out of it yourself? Like, what would you do?
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think that as a team, you have to work together. I don't think you just say to the team, "Hey, it's up to you. Get out of it." I think that's abdicating your responsibility. I mean, I just talked about Jay. If you got to play with 8 forwards, like you got to play with 8 forwards because other guys aren't playing, you got to play with 4 defensemen. That peer pressure. Because now the other players are going to say, "You're killing me, Evan. You're killing me because now I got to go out there every second shift because you're not pulling your weight." And so I think that accountability from the coach has to be there. Number 2, and it's not easy to make changes to your team. We know in the salary cap era. But I never want to hear about a general manager telling me how hard it is. If it's so hard, then just let me know. We'll find somebody else to go do the hard work. And I think that they got to look to try to bring in some different players that are wildly competitive. And maybe they don't need more skill. They need more hard, competitive players, and especially in their forward group. And if they can find somebody, you know what they could use? They could use Arbor Jacki on the blue line.
Ooh.
Arbor Jacki is that type of personality that says, not when I'm out there. Not when I'm out there. And forwards that just grind you. And the thing about Kenny knows. Kenny knows. He won cups in Detroit with it. I mean, he tells a famous story about Mike Babcock, complaining about Draper and Maltby and these guys. And Kenny says to him, he goes, "You know what? I've been in a bunch of Stanley Cup parades and they're always in the car right in front of me." So Kenny knows. And I think they need – and again, we're talking about players. I remember, and I'll share this with you real quick. I remember a couple of years back, Marc Bergevin was the manager in Montreal, and they were struggling in a similar way. And I said, you got to go out and you got to find players that they can do it. And I mentioned a couple of names. And I didn't know they were available. Just understand that. But I give types. And I said, Chandler Stevenson would be a great fit in Montreal. Well, they didn't get him. Well, who went and got him?
Yeah.
Ironically, and I didn't know that Chandler was available. I'm just saying, you got to inquire. Players like that can drive play from a competitive point of view, where every face-off matters, where every spot on the ice. The Oilers need more of that, and that's the manager's job to go and find a way to get that done. And if he can't, please tell me. I might have to go get somebody else to try to help me.
Craig, before we wrap, I had a chance to catch up with our good friend Paul Graham on Saturday. We went out for a drink and a bite to eat, and so we order our meals, and then he goes, "And we'll get a starter order of fries." And I said, "Well, this is weird. Like, I got fries coming with my meal." And he goes, "It's a Craig Button thing. Craig Button likes to order fries before the meal comes." And we were discussing it today. It seems like a weird appetizer, Craig. Explain these fries to us.
Well, okay. So I love fries. If I was a mess, I would eat fries every day. And Paul Graham, PG, he's not taking responsibility. He likes fries as much as me.
Oh,
so we're fries people that can have them as an appetizer, a main course, and dessert. So just next time you're with him, know that.
Okay, yeah. He made it sound like it was your great idea, and you're the only one who ever did it. So I was like, This seems weird to me. I don't know.
He's right there with me,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm a fries guy. And you know what? Poutine, beef gravy, proper curds, and good thick cut fries.
Well,
Yeah.
a very knowledgeable man, Craig Button. Craig, thanks a lot for the time today. There you go.
You have a great day.
That's Craig, spitting fire every single time he joins us. That is brought to you by Pro-Am, and I think he summed it up nicely.
I like how him and PG just passed the buck on this
Yeah,
fry
like
thing.
who's in charge of the fry order?
Now you go at lunch with Craig and you go, "Oh, this PG guy does it all the time." Paul Graham, you gotta
It's
ask him,
like
and
this
then it
vicious
just- yeah,
circle. It's this vicious circle.
They're playing you.
If I would have known we were going to have fries as a starter, well, I probably still would have got fries. Or we got poutine instead to mix it up
Got
a little
poutine,
bit.
yeah.
It's not like I'm going to all of a sudden get a side salad just because we're having fries as a starter. All right, well, Craig's fired up. Many of you are fired up. What say you? 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. I did love, what did he say? I don't praise people for work ethic. It's just expected.
Hey, you breathed today.
Which is why when people were like, man, that back check by Draisaitl on a play that still ended up leading to a goal was terrific. No, that should be the standard.
Well, especially when you're getting paid millions of dollars. I mean,
Yes.
I think in our
but if you
day-to-day, you're going out and maybe you're, but for these guys, pro athletes, it's kind of a
do you want to stop losing?
Yeah.
If you want to stop losing, try harder when defending off the rush. And you know why so many of these chances, and it's probably more than this, but I'm going to simplify it a little bit. The Oilers are an absolute disaster defending off the rush. This is one of two things, and I've seen both of it. A, you don't know where you're supposed to go when you do back check, or B, you just don't back check hard enough. And not back checking hard enough should not be an excuse in the National Hockey League. Somebody texted in earlier. It said, I don't know, we lost it somewhere here in the Paris Jewelers inbox, but he's like a rec league goalie. And he says, Dusty, I praise the guys in rec league for back checks so I don't have to face 10 breakaways per game or a dozen backdoor tap-ins. And that's in rec league. Like, of course you're going to do that in rec league because, the guys are out there for fun for the most part. Sure, they're not going to bust their ass on a back check. But if you're making $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 million, back checking should not impress anybody.
Yeah.
Back checking should just be something that happens on the regular. So the fact that type of stuff stands out just shows you where this group is at right now. The Oilers shouldn't fire Woodcroft, but trade away players or send them to the minors. If Connor is hurt, put him on the LTIR, probably Ekholm as well. The Oilers can't make the playoffs, so you might as well burn the seasons.
Burn the seasons.
How do you praise 29's back check when you didn't go to the man that went to the middle of the ice where no one was? Look, man, we're just talking about the praising of skating hard to get back. And he was trying to hustle back and get the guy over here. Bouchard was trailing Höglander. Like, that can't be, like, the coach can't be telling them, hey, go out there and completely botch this. Unless they just don't listen to Woodcroft at all and they're like, oh, screw it.
Aha.
But if they've given up on Jay Woodcroft after what happened last season with this team where they were pretty darn successful, then the entire group should just be blown up. Completely start over. Like, it's...
Are we close to that? You've just kind of figured it out. You've stepped, and now you're here, and you're like, how did I get here? Is that
But
it?
this is a hard roster to blow up.
Yeah.
Players pretty much, the players that... I mean, you've got players that nobody else would want or take on due to their cap hit. And then you've got these core guys that you would be insane to move. And then other guys in the core that you're like, okay, well, maybe there could be a deal there. But they have control over their own contracts. Like, I don't know how you improve the roster. Like, they've put themselves in that tough of a spot, which is a horrible, horrible look for any professional sports organization. Whether, like, when you get into a spot where you're so backed up against it that you look like you need to make some sort of move and you just simply can't. I saw somebody say, trade Bouchard and something to Pittsburgh for Tristan Jarry. You think the Pittsburgh Penguins, who already have 2 offensive right shot defensemen, are going to bring in Evan Bouchard in a trade? Are you nuts? Are you nuts? Like, we appreciate the passion but that's not going to happen. Come up with something reasonable, for goodness sakes. And the problem is that it's near impossible to come up with something reasonable that would actually make sense. Because you think there's National Hockey League teams out there that are going to throw the Oilers a lifeline without them absolutely overpaying to the point that we'll never, ever, ever forget the deal? Of course not. So I don't know. I mean, maybe the answer is calling up an American League goaltender, but I feel like the whole storyline there is they're also going to get burned for 1 million backdoor tap-ins and grade A scoring chances, and people are just going to end up bitching about them.
Yeah, don't ruin their seasons as well.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. Hey, just let them cook down there.
The last thing you want to do is take them from playing behind the American Hockey League team and make them play against behind the NHL team. It's almost like punishment, for goodness sakes. This text is in. It says, embarrassing franchise we are. We dissolve like a cheap sugar cube. Soft team we are. This is historically bad Oilers goaltending, not seen since the Bobby Asenza-Stalenknikov duo. Holloway looked good in a top 6 role. Go figure. With the exception of Draisaitl's back check impression on goal 2, I trade McLeod for magic beans after he sinked in late while McDavid was getting nailed with a token face wash. Just gutless. With Connor at 60%, this season has to be close to at its end. Going 670 the rest of the way to get a wild card. Dry's selfish dime locked the loss. The core is rotten. Woody is done. It's just a matter of when. Holland failed. Dirty Curdy
Cerebral
coming
text.
in hot today. The Paris Jewelers inbox is just on straight fire. There's so much pressure in there. Paris Jewelers could be creating diamonds.
I'm going
because
black.
that's how diamonds are created, right there from pressure. That's what's happening right now. 780-218-9999. If you want one text of the day today, we are looking to have some fun with what did Woodcroft say to the official to get kicked out of the game? Get creative with that and have some fun.
Delta Golf with a
Give it to me.
Bouchard. You want it?
Yeah, is it in the text or in the nasty
Oh,
chat?
it's in the text.
All
Delta Golf. You can. I'm not going to.
No, go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
I don't even see it. I mean, there's too
Send
many texts.
Bouchard down to 118th Avenue so he can learn how to pick up a man.
Oh, jeez, man. Come on. That's not going to win text.
You
of the
said
day.
give it to you.
I wasn't sure that was going to
That's
be rolling
one
in.
example of the Paris Jewelers inbox right
Yeah.
now, 780-218-9999.
People are fired up today. It's I love seeing the passion, and I will just say this from our crew here at Edmonton Sports Talk. I appreciate you choosing us as your forum to vent and be entertained every single day here, as we will have live coverage once again all the way up until 1 o'clock. 2 guys and a goalie's going to be straight fired today. Who's on the hangout today? Give it to us.
Will Fraser.
Will Fraser.
That ass.
Derek Van Diest.
Oh.
I'm just going to...
You're not even going to have to talk
I'm
today.
going to walk around. I'm going to go grab some coffee, maybe go get lunch, come back and forth between
Tommy
those
might as well
two.
just sleep in.
And they'll
Load
just
management, eh?
they'll just go at it, and like they'll go off, both of them, I'm sure, on
man.
everything that's going on. It'll be great. So
DVD and phrase.
Yeah.
Today. What a get.
it worked out well.
That is going to be absolutely amazing. Can't wait for that. All right, let's get into our cool bet hotline of the day, boys. Mr. Lean. He's a premier Champions League machine.
Play some music if you.
Okay. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
wait, you know, we
well,
gotta,
your
we gotta
computer's
go.
on. Let me
fire up the computer there, will you, Dusty?
Let's see here. Let's see here. Let's go with
Play some
AM
gambling
Nasty
music.
Let's go with Energy. This is titled Energy. Royalty-free music is great, isn't it? Here, let's see what this is. Is this our beer of the week one?
Yeah.
Well, let's try a different one. That is great, though. Let's see here. We already did Upbeat. I've got Beach Party or Break the Party.
Break the party.
Okay, break.
Yeah,
What?
break the party. I was wanting Beach.
You want Beach
Beach
Party?
fucking Beach
Okay, let's do
Party.
Beach Party
It's
then.
Mr.
We'll do
Lean
Beach
here.
Party.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. Nah, Beach Party's kind of lame. Let's try Break the
Let's
Party.
even give it a little breath.
Oh, this is way better.
It's time for the Cool Bet Canada Hotline of the Day with Dustin Nielson, Lieutenant Eric, and Mr. Lean, only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Mr. Lean! Woo! Woo, 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 woo! Mr. Lean! Oh, this is going to drop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whoa, I did not expect that.
I've never seen anything like this. Nor have I.
I thought, do you think it kicks back in here?
I think we just keep it playing underneath and see what happens
whole
while
time?
we discuss. Oh,
All right,
there we
Mr.
go.
Lean. I don't know if this is going to
I like this.
This seems like a
I like this.
Superman theme.
Now you're going into battle.
Champions League today. It's like the good matchups. It's hard to try to see what's gonna go. So with this one, I'm actually going to Serbia.
Ooh.
Belgrade.
Whoa, to Serbia.
I'm going to Serbia. Leipzig taking on Red Star Belgrade. Leipzig has already beaten them once, 3-1, but at home. So now they're going to
That's
Serbia.
a tough place to play, hey?
It's a tough place to play. Leipzig hasn't scored in their last 2 matches. On this
Wait,
one.
listen. Come on. There it is. We were waiting for it. Mr. Lee.
Well, this is full dance party Friday for you guys now.
Serbia.
Serbia.
All right, Mr.
On
Lee.
this one, I'm going to go with the spread here. If you go Bellstar +1, it's plus 150.
I have
So
no idea what you're talking
if it's a draw, you win.
about. Okay.
If Red Star wins, you win. The only way you're going to lose, well, if Leipzig goes and gets either, if they go win by pretty handily, but they haven't scored in two.
They have a 61% win probability.
Who does?
RB Leipzig.
Well, go play in Serbia. And go tell me how easy that is. And for a team that's struggling to score right now, I don't think the recipe for success is going to Serbia. So give me Red Star Belgrade plus 150 with them being +1 on the spread.
I love it.
Give them a goal. Give them a goal. This is going to be like a 1-1, 2-2 draw.
2-2?
I could see both teams potentially scoring at that point, but then you win. Because if it's a draw, you've already got the goal for Red Star. Boom, you're happy.
I am going to go with Cool Bet Hotline of the day. Nothing too sexy. You know what? I think I like Buffalo plus 1.5 at -137 against the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's go Buffalo plus 1.5 on the puck line at -137 tonight. That'll be your Cool Bet Hotline of the day. And when Thursday comes and the others are playing the San Jose Sharks, I'm going to be all over it. Like, they have to pump the San Jose Sharks. Give me the Oilers -3.5 on Thursday. Or will they completely disappoint us?
Saturday afternoon against the Preds, man. Right?
This thing's still going. It's like 4 minutes. Break the party. Lock it in. That's a good one.
Send that to the Oilers.
Oh! Because of the drop. Because of the.
Well,
that just gets you going, right? Like,
How are you not going to be fired up to play hockey once you get that?
I would think think millions of dollars might do it, but apparently not. All right, let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric's got you. We have confessions coming up. What do you need to confess? What do you need to get off your chest? Text them in 780-218-9999. And, of course, more of your reaction on the Oilers' loss to the Vancouver Canucks as we work our way through hour number 2 on the Nasty.
Another loss for the Oilers, 6-2 out in Vancouver to kick off a 3-game road trip. Jay Woodcroft tossed as well in the loss. Oilers now 2-8-1. They sit 7th in the Pacific. They'll visit the 8th place Sharks on Thursday. Elsewhere last night, Carter Verhaeghe with the overtime winner. Panthers over Columbus 5-4. Jeremy Swayman 35 saves. Bruins best Dallas 3-2. And the Leafs down 4-1 end up defeating Tampa 6-5 in overtime. Austin Eckler had a pair of touchdowns. Chargers grounding the Jets 27-6 on your Monday nighter. You can join me Thursday at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, and the Bears take on the Panthers. It'll be your next chance to qualify into a draw for a trip for 2 to LA to catch the Rams and Browns. Knicks spoiling James Harden's Clippers debut, defeating LA 111-97 from MSG. Heat would hold on to knock off LeBron and the Lakers 108-107. Giannis, he had 36 in a Bucks 129-125 victory over Brooklyn. In match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League group stage will begin later this morning and go into the afternoon with 8 matches, including Borussia Dortmund at home to Newcastle, while AC Milan hosts to PSG. This sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki. Not sure why Mitch calls it golf when he uses other 4-letter words while playing it. Cisa.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
The Nielsen Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
7:35 with the Nielsen Show. Thank you very much for being here. We've got a lot to do, including reminding Maddie to put us back on the two-shot because this is kind of creepy being way up high, looking into the lights there. All right, you can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. Jam-packed second half of the show still to come. More of your Oilers reaction right now. I guess the question would be, and we'll get to more of your reaction on this, what has you most frustrated right now? Outside of the 2-8-1 record, obviously, it's an easy answer. What about this team has you most frustrated right now? 780-218-9999. We'll ask Joaquin Gage about this as well. Gage will break down a bunch of the goals last night. He's going to be by around 8:30, 8:25-ish. We'll talk some Formula One with him as well. 3 questions too many. Kind of easy trivia. The wrap all on the way in hour number 3 today. We're going to get to confessions here in just a second as well. But okay, so you got another intro here for confessions.
I got it. We got it.
Okay, all right. So let's go back to that beach party one. Let's give beach party a little bit of time.
Oh yeah.
I kind of bailed early on beach party.
Yeah.
So let's try this out here. He's got to get better, I think. There we go.
Okay.
Got something weighing you down? Need to get something off your chest? Messed up in fantasy? Messed up in life? It's time for Weekly Confessions, brought to you by Spectrum Rent-All on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Sponsor now. So bad.
Man, at least we got sweet tunes today. That helps. All right, let's get into your confessions. What do you need to confess? We got a few good confessions I've already rolled in here today. 780-218-9999. Weekly confessions are brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to secretly planning meet and greet events at Edmonton Sports Talk Studios only on game nights, which does make a lot of sense, actually, because the Oilers have 2 wins this year, and one of them was when we had all of our clients in here, in the studios, watching with us. That was the win over Nashville, and the Spectrum team was here. Spectrum Rental team was here, and maybe that's what needs to happen, boys. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maddie, you want to throw up the Spectrum graphic? There it is. Visit them, Spectrum Rental, where you can rent literally anything. And with winter projects on the go here, maybe you need to go see the team at Spectrum Rental to help you out. They're also working on basically do anything you need. The one thing fascinating me most when I was talking to these guys when they were here was the heating of, like, the heating inside tarped off construction projects. That always fascinates me. How do you keep all the heat in just with tarps? Blows my mind. But these guys know how to do it at Spectrum Rental, which is pretty awesome. So if you got
get
a big
into the rink building game here for you, hey? That
well,
crossing,
I mean, wouldn't that be something?
Yeah.
If they could help me somehow, like, tarp off the rink and have it, like, indoorish.
You know, I'm sure Tam would allow, like, kind of a mini workplace trailer out there near the back. Hey,
oh, she'd love that.
Generator running 24/7.
She'd love that. Like, in the night, it's
gotta
really
get in
loud.
the trailer. I gotta get it.
Yeah. If you got a snowblower, by the way, they do service and repairs on snowblowers too. So they basically do anything you need, and will rent you anything you need as well at Spectrum Rental. What are you confessing today, buddy?
So I think by my inaccurate guesswork here, I've been now to the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge 17 times this NFL season. I have yet to use the washroom.
Whoa, what are the odds of this? Because my confession was, since we went to the uninterrupted Nielsen show, neither of us, I'm very surprised that I haven't even had the urge to take a piss.
I don't know what it is.
What is going on here?
Back at the old place, I'd be like clockwork on certain breaks. Like I'd coach myself to be like, this is the time to empty it all out.
It's like
you'd run. And
it's like our bodies, like, at least for the show, because we're like on the air. I mean, if you need to go take a leak, go take a leak. And if I have to go take a leak, whatever. I mean, we're good. We said we can do that because when we first started, we're like, let's go uninterrupted for 3 hours. People will love it. And then we said, well, what if every time we tell somebody, we're like, yeah, we're uninterrupted. Like, we just go for 3 straight hours. Like, well, how do you go to the washroom?
Mm-hmm.
And we just don't. My confession is, like, I'm taking down a bunch of these DB waters. We're drinking teas. We're drinking lattes.
Do you have a secret stash of those DBs?
No, I'm just
hot commodity right now.
I'm refilling these with tap water. Basically.
Why are you refilling that when you have your big bottle right below you?
He doesn't even touch it anymore. He doesn't even touch it.
That you were all big on.
Scared of it. I think.
Well, I don't know. It just seems like this is a lot of water to drink, man. Like, these ones, I can feel like I accomplished something. Right? Because I finish it. I'm like, well, that's one bottle of water down.
How about, like, take a Sharpie, put some marks on that bottle?
Pardon me?
Take a Sharpie, put some marks on that bottle, and you want to finish to this line by 11 a.m. this line by 2, this line by the end of the day. And then you still feel like you're accomplishing something if you get to that line.
Yeah, but if I drink something like this during the show, I will have to go take a leak. And we were just talking about our confession is that we
you don't
basically
have
don't
to
have
take.
to.
I'm saying you don't have to drink the whole thing. You can make a mark of how much your DB is there, which, by the way, you should not reuse plastic like that. Jeff Crush will talk
Jeff
to you
Crush
about
was
that.
in here
You
and
can't
saw
use,
you doing here.
You can't just keep reusing that over and over and over.
What are you talking about right now?
You talk to Jeff Crush.
Just ask Jeff.
But then why would I be able to reuse this? It's also plastic.
Different way it's produced, I guess. I don't know. But yeah,
So
you have this. You have this
the
whole
plastic industry is a farce.
You have this whole water bottle thing there, and you just don't use it anymore.
Remember when he came in, he said, I'll do this, and this is my high score, and if I could do a bottle of these a day. That you had a system, man.
I'm
We were
supporting
behind
a
you.
sponsor, you guys.
No, I know, but you put it.
Anyway.
Ask
So,
Crush.
but you haven't gone to the washroom once,
Not
17
once.
times.
Go to a casino, sports bar, and lounge bar where they serve drinks.
And you're drinking
and
wines
food.
and like.
Well, this is the thing. Again, I drive from the West End, so I take the Henday. It's kind of, it's a good. But before I get on that journey, I'm like, hey, big road trip here. Do I have to? So I usually go to the washroom prior to the road trip, and then by that time you're there for it's a couple hours and hold until I get home type of thing. I've just never had to run to the washroom. I don't know. I felt like I need to get off my chest.
What do you have for confessions? Hit us up. 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat as well. We got a few good ones that have rolled in via text message. Morning, boys. Confession time. As a Canuck fan, I almost feel bad the Oilers as we were in the dark. I almost feel bad for the Oilers as we were in the dark ages for years. And straight shooting Steve texts us in the 6 o'clock hour, asked for a conch for the Canucks. I'm sorry, man. That is not going to happen. Confession, boys. I had the first pick in fantasy this year, and I feel my Costanza Midas touch has Seward McDavid and also my fantasy team in general. This is on me. Billy Jack. So he's taking the blame. My confession, I'm headed down to Rogers Place with my jersey in hand. Not sure what I'm going to do. I'm contemplating maybe placing it gently on the community rink when it opens. I feel like I have to do something. The city needs me. Sincerely yours, Downtown Double D. And Mrs. Beef Nips, or this is from Beef Nips. An apology and a confession to his wife. Confession, it's my first time working out of town since we had a baby. And I feel bad about how good of sleeps I'm getting. Sorry, Mrs. Beef Nips. That's a big-time confession. Like, during CFL season, I work a lot. Every weekend, I'm gone. So you would think I would get tired. But I, by far, get the best sleeps when I'm on a road in a hotel. It's the best. Like, I usually have, like, a king bed.
The bed.
To myself. I can
Spread
sleep
eagle.
sideways. It's, the kids aren't getting up early. It's awesome.
It's all tucked. That bed spread.
Oh,
is tucked.
yeah,
You like
it's
to tuck
great.
in,
It's sitting there for you, a couple bottles of water. Like, yeah, I totally understand where Beef Nips is coming from, man. Good morning, boys. My confession is I tell my wife that I think betting on sports is stupid. In reality, I just don't understand it. How do you win money when something is minus 150, for example? Well, it's just how it works. Like, in a minus 150 situation, you would have to bet, let's just use it as a general number, you would have to bet $150 to win 100. Whereas if it's plus 150, you bet $100 and we win 150 on top of your 100. But I like that guy's like, oh yeah, sports betting is stupid. That's what he tells his wife, and he's secretly like, I wish I could learn it.
That across the seas, they do all the fractional betting or whatever.
Yeah, you can choose different settings in different books. All right, so keep those confessions rolling in. Guys, confession, I dropped the Chargers D for the Steelers, causing me to lose my matchup. We also have weekly props. This week's prop was best D/special teams. Terrible play. That's in from Meat today. Good confessions rolling in. 780-218-9999. As always, I had a few other confessions here, actually, too, that I had. These are quick ones that I had. Excuse me. I confess that I'm becoming an airline snob. I really am. I've got really good status on WestJet this year. Like I'm a platinum member on WestJet.
Oh, it's an official. It's not just like word of mouth. Like,
and I sat down in a premium seat on the flight back from, where was I this week? Vancouver. And usually they have the bottles of water like sitting out for you when you get to your seat. And there wasn't any water. And I was like, I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to disturb, but I was very disappointed that my premium bottle of water wasn't sitting there waiting.
You
for
have
me.
the status. You're afforded to speak your
What's
mind.
going on here? I'm a platinum member.
Yeah.
Where's my bottle of water? Get it together, WestJet. I also confess this one. I confess that I think breakfast wraps are better than breakfast sandwiches. What do you think about that?
Full agreement.
Yeah?
Full agreement.
Like it,
Full
eh?
agreement. Why do you need that much? In the morning, you need that protein. Just the bread.
Just a little wrap.
All you need is to keep it. It's like a hot dog. It's just the casing.
Yeah.
Right? You want the good stuff inside. You just need a casing.
The juicy
I don't need
stuff
a big
inside.
a big thick home style. Like a cornbread type of.
The thinner the muffin, the better. If you're looking like a muffin sandwich type of thing.
All the way.
So yeah,
all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I got all these confessions today. Oh, and then I have this one that might piss people off, but I also confess that I still don't think 100% of this is solved by a changed net.
100% of it? No.
I don't think
there's no 100%.
I don't think the Oilers all of a sudden get a goalie and everybody's like, "Wow, look, they can defend on the rush now." Like I don't think that's a thing. They need to be better, sure, but there's a lot else going on with this team as well.
Somebody asking if Spectrum Rental rent hearts for the hockey team. The full Jaunty in with that one.
Jaunty.
Sponsor, Oilers.
That ties in nicely.
You're getting it all there.
That ties in nicely. Was that Jaunty in Victoria?
It was the full Jaunty.
Wait a second. Stop. There's two Jaunties?
It is Jaunty in Victoria.
Okay,
For some reason it's called the full
okay,
Jaunty.
I was
right?
going to say, that's
I'll make a...
that's actually a pretty good one. I like that one. The Spectrum Rental rent hearts.
Hey, it's worth an ask, right? Talking about deals is
I'm
going
going
to
to throw it in the mix for text of the day.
Yeah.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. All right, there you go. That is your weekly confession segment brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to secretly planning meet and greet events at Edmonton Sports Talk Studios only on game nights. Back to the Edmonton Oilers and the mess that they have become. Hey, if you're watching today, hammer that thumbs up button. And let's get over 200 thumbs up today. That would be. Do we call it?
Just got to hit it once.
Do we call it thumbs up or do we call it like a like button? I never really know.
Heard Shoggy calls it the love button.
The love button. Ooh, that's nice.
Well, it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
There's no heart or anything, so that just doesn't make any sense.
Classic Shoggy.
It's thumbs up or like. It both would work.
Okay.
Because it is a like, but also it has the thumbs up symbol, so thumbs up.
Yeah.
So you could say either of those two. The love,
Maybe a hitch and a ride, right?
I don't know.
You kind of argue that it's hitching going.
Sure.
I don't know.
That makes more sense than love.
Come along for the ride by hitting the thumbs up.
It makes way more sense than
You've
love.
done that before.
No, I've never hitchhiked. Have you guys
Really?
hitchhiked?
Not a chance.
I'm too scared to hitchhike. I know people are scared of hitchhikers. If I was a hitchhiker, I'd be scared of the weirdos who pick me up. Because who pulls over to pick up a hitchhiker? Unless you're a little bit of a weirdo.
My dad used to. He slept in a ditch with a hippie once.
Really?
They shared a cardboard bed. He's 80 years old.
They shared a cardboard.
It was different back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah. Well, my
guys didn't wear helmets. It's all.
my father-in-law, rest in peace, he hitchhiked across the country
See, now that would be awesome.
with guitar, like full-blown hippie hitchhike. Now this would have been in the 70s.
Stomping Tom Connors,
But
right there,
still,
baby.
from Toronto all the way out to, I think, to Vancouver. God. So different times. But I am way too scared to hitchhike.
You wouldn't even try it for.
I think
not
it'd be
even from here to
safer
Gibbons or something.
nowadays than in the past.
Why would you say that?
Because you could text someone, hey, I'm jumping in a car, or you could send your location even while you're driving to someone
Like
you know.
child locks and everything.
Yeah, but if you're hitchhiking, why wouldn't you just use your phone to get an Uber or a taxi then? Like to me,
Because
if
you're not doing it in the
hitchhiking, you
city.
don't
An
have-
Uber's not on the highway. I'm not just seeing a taxi drive by on the highway for me to get in it.
Okay.
Whereas like that's where if I'm getting in one, if I needed to, I could say, hey guys, I'm just jumping in some random's car. Here's my location.
Well, I did that out to Gibbons. That when the guy did pick me up, and he didn't know it was a bit.
Oh yeah, that wasn't a guy who was coming out to the
No,
party. He just
eventually
picked you
Trev saved me, but one guy picked me up, and it was.
What was he like?
It was an odd 5 minutes.
Did you think he was going to try to kill you?
Well, that's kind of what it was. That's the road
Yeah.
we were going
Now,
down, pun intended.
Do you sit in the front seat with them or do you sit in the back?
I always used to do that with Cappy. He's like, Jeez.
The back is all for cabs and Ubers. I love the back.
I love getting right.
I don't like the conversation. I don't like the. I just find that I just want to sit in silence.
Me too. I get in a lot of cabs for this 6-month CFL stretch. The guy who picked me up, actually, it was really cool. The guy who picked me up in Vancouver to take me to the airport showed me this app where you can listen to it's like a map of the world, and it's called Radio Garden, and you just can go to any radio station in the world, and it's like on the globe. It's a
randomizer, or you could listen to any radio station around the world.
It's actually like the world pops up, and then you can go to see all these green spots. That's every radio station in the world. You just go over top of it, and it starts playing it.
Because flip side, TuneIn has 100,000 radio stations from around the world.
Yeah, and who else is on TuneIn?
Us.
We're on TuneIn. Boom. That's right. So that's great too. But anyway, that guy was really nice most of the time. But if I was hitchhiking, I would totally sit in the front. Mind you, I don't know. I always think of the movie. What's the movie where they get in the back of the cab and they can't get out because they've sharpened the.
There's the child locks too in the
Russell
back,
Crowe,
as you mentioned.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. It'd almost be like a cop car. Yeah. So I'd sit in the front to have some sort of control over my hitchhiking situation.
Have you been in the back of a cop car?
No comment on that one, but I would think there's probably not a lot of room in the back of a cop car.
Not.
That would be tough. That would be tough.
It's like you're in a bathtub.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Especially
for me in a bathtub, it's tough. 6'5". I haven't had a nice, good bathtub in a long time. It's tough.
Give the man a lay down shower for crying out loud. Hey.
All right, should we get back to praising Leon Draisaitl for his back check last night? Or what?
Yes, it's a celebration.
Oh my God, can you believe how hard this guy worked last night?
Trade proposal packages are flying in 780-218-9999.
Who's going to trade for Bouchard? Honestly,
Nashville.
Let's have this discussion.
Nashville. Somebody wants Soros up here. Bouchard.
Oh yeah, of course.
A bunch of other stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's one
Soros
thing that Nashville definitely wants is another right shot offensive defenseman from the Edmonton Oilers. They already got the best one. Who in the world is going to watch Bouchard right now and trade something of significance for him? Right? Where does Bouchard do a lot of his damage? On the power play. And who's he with on the power play? Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So another team's going to look at it and go, oh, no, bring in Bouchard. He's going to be awesome on our power play too. That's questionable. If you can look at it as an Oilers fan and not somebody who's paid hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to evaluate hockey talent, please explain to me why somebody's going to take on Evan Bouchard in a trade with significant value coming back the other way. You don't think they're watching last night's game or the game against Minnesota in which he basically was individually responsible for 4 goals against, or the game against Dallas when Rupe Hintz just coasted right by him and scored basically in a tap in? Do you think teams are going to want to trade for that guy right now? Are you delusional? That's not going to be the case.
But what if they're delusional?
Yeah. I mean, where's Peter Chiarelli at now? There's some sort of Peter Chiarelli thing.
Look him up.
You can kind of get things on tabs.
His name was St. Louis.
Penner says Nashville is going to trade Saros and Roman Josi for Nurse and Campbell. How many firsts do we attach to that? Oh, I don't know. All of them? I mean, come on, you guys. I don't know. And I know some people say, Dusty, it's his job. Find a trade. And that's fine. And that's you're right. It is his job to find a trade. But they put themselves in such a tough spot. What's the trade?
It's almost an impossible job.
You can't just give up picks for somebody. So it has to always be, and I hate this, because we've said it for, 6 years now. Money in, money out. I hate it. But that would have to be what the situation is. So good luck. Ken Holland calling around being like, hey, you want to do me a huge favor and help save the season? Yeah, there's going to be a lot of teams that are like, yeah, Kenny, you got a real good rep here in this league. I'm going to pull the trigger on a deal with you to help your team right now. Trades aren't lining up here. A coach firing would give the players an easy out, which you also don't want to do. I'm still sitting here at 7:55 on November 7th saying, ride this thing out. And I might be the biggest idiot of them all by suggesting that.
Well, because what else can you do? You've just outlined all your other options which you don't have or can't execute. So you just write it out. It dominated the poll yesterday on YouTube. It was close to 50%.
You could end up screwing up the future of your organization in a really bad way, while at the same time not fixing the problems right now here, right? Like,
yep.
I'm not opposed to selling the future, but I am opposed to giving the future away, not actually fixing the problem, and then being even more screwed. Dacky is in. Boy, I love this guy. I want some of what he's on here. I got a tinfoil hat theory. What if we're tanking more to increase draft pick capital for a possible trade? Maybe to work with Campbell's contract. How about that? That is a brilliant idea. What they're doing here is they're going to tank the first 15 games and then go around to everybody and say, hey, look at our first rounder. You want to take Jack Campbell and give us a goalie back? Here's our first rounder. And then they make the trade, and then they turn it around. Did you just stab yourself with your poppy?
Right in the nip. I'm milking here. I'm milking.
I saw your reaction. I was like, oh, I think he just stabbed himself. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. They're purposely tanking, increase the value of the first, and then move it. And then move it with Campbell, and then turn the season around. Joke's on you. You're actually drafting 32nd because they win the Stanley Cup.
Let's see Chiarelli do that.
That's pretty good. I do like that. Katie says that would be crazy full circle if Holland were fired and Chiarelli came back. That would never, ever happen.
Peter Chiarelli seen eating a steak sandwich downtown Edmonton later this afternoon, eh? Oh, my God, it's happening again.
Garrett says, ride it out, get into the draft lottery, and trade the first. Guys, I don't know what to tell you.
Dusty, are you still saying write it out if we fall to the Sharks? This coming in from the texter that sent in the Affleck Oilers smoking picture.
Okay, great question. Thank you.
And thank you for sending in the picture earlier as well. There's only two texts that this texter sent in.
Was that the Ben Affleck Oilers smoke
They sent in the
picture?
Ben Affleck first text ever, and then this. Are you still saying write it out if we follow the Sharks?
I did see that earlier, so thank you. Okay, say it again. Sorry, I got distracted by a text. Are we still saying
Dusty,
ride the course if
are
you
you
lose
still
to San Jose?
saying write it out if we fall to the Sharks?
No.
Being on Thursday.
No, I mean, if they fall to the Sharks, that's one of those things where there has to be some sort of sacrifice. Like, somebody has to pay that price. If it's the waiving of Campbell, or it's the firing of Woodcroft, or it's the firing of Ken Holland. Honestly, if you're going to fire Woodcroft, you might as well fire Ken Holland anyway, because there's no chance Jeff Jackson is allowing Ken Holland to hire the next coach. If he is, I mean, he's not suited for his job either. There's no way that would happen. Like, Jeff Jackson is calling essentially all the shots from this point out. So if they lose to the San Jose Sharks, you might as well just send both Holland and Woodcroft out the door. And then it's the Jeff Jackson, Paul Coffey show for the rest of the season until you find another GM to put in place. So they're not losing to the San Jose Sharks, though. There has to be something in that room. I think Craig Button said today, San Jose is basically an American Hockey League team. You can't lose to that group. And even if you beat them, as Maddie said earlier on the show, you're not getting anything out of it. Yay, you beat the San Jose Sharks. Congratulations. Yeah. You're still the second worst team in the National Hockey League.
It's actually one of those fool's gold scenarios, too, where you kind of they start feeling good about themselves again, that type of thing. Almost like the Heritage Classic.
Well, if they roll out and put 8 by the Sharks, what they certainly could do, and then come back out against Seattle being like, hey, we're back. Conor McGregor walking in against
You can totally see it, can you not?
No,
from this group? I'm not saying they should.
For this group right now, yes, you can.
That's how I see that.
For this group, you could. Fair enough.
They're back.
Fair enough.
Like, it's like Draisaitl back checking. You go out to beat the Sharks, there should be no celebration. That's just a win.
Here's a guy coming in hot for his first text ever. I try harder holding in a fart on a date than Bouchard does back-checking. That's in from the THC tester.
There's a pinch joke in there somewhere, too, but I can't locate it. Like, there's something...
All right. Hey, who wants to win something? Let's give something away. We've got Mr. Mike's gift certificate for you. If you would like to play Kind of Easy Trivia today, pound that box right now, 780-218-9999. If you're new to the show, it's very simple. All you do is text in and say, pick me, Maddie, Mr. Mike's, hey, over here. Get his attention somehow. Maddie will give you a call. You will play Kind of Easy Trivia. The questions are super simple. Yes, super simple. You're going to win today, and you'll get a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. If you have any questions for 3 questions too many, fire those over to the Paris Jewelers inbox as well, 780-218-9999. We'll dive into that for Park Mazda. Joaquin Gage is going to come by, and I'm going to tease that we're going to talk Oilers the entire time, but we're only going to talk F1. Hey, how's that? That's sneaky play. That's a sneaky play. Let's get to a sports update for United Sport and Psycho with Lieutenant Eric.
The Edmonton Oilers, November 7th, are 2-8-1. They sit 7th in the Pacific following yet another loss at the hands of the Canucks. 6-2 out in Vancouver, kicking off a 3-game road trip. Oilers will visit the 8th-place Sharks on Thursday. Other action last night, Carter Verhaeghe with the overtime winner. Panthers over Columbus 5-4. Jeremy Swayman, 35 saves. Bruins win on the road in Dallas 3-2. And the Leafs, coming from back 4-1 down, they defeat Tampa 6-5 in overtime. Over to the NFL, Austin Eckler had a pair of touchdowns. Chargers defeating the Jets 27-6. You can join me Thursday at the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge when the Bears take on the Panthers. It'll be your next shot to qualify into a draw for a trip for 2 to Los Angeles to catch the Rams and Browns. Heat holding on to knock off LeBron and the Lakers 108-107 in NBA action, while the Knicks spoiling James Harden's Clippers debut. They defeat the Clippers 111-97 from MSG. Match day 4 in the UEFA Champions League group stage will begin later this morning and go into the afternoon. 8 matches in total, featuring AC Milan hosting PSG and Borussia Dortmund at home to Newcastle. Sports update for United Sport and Cycle, supporting hockey in your community for over 95 years.
The Nielsen Show, featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
All right, welcome back to the Nielsen Show. Hey, we didn't go anywhere. We're just cruising along here. Hour number 3, Nielsen Show uninterrupted. Joaquin Gage going to pop by in about 20 minutes. 3 questions too many. Kind of easy trivia all on the way. The rap for William Huff. We'll dish out text of the day, sound of the day, all still to come as well. And yeah, do we have another intro for?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Geez, I want to open up. I want to see if just a sec. Let me see. I think I have one more
You
bed.
got so much to play with.
I saved like 5 today.
It's almost too much.
So there's something in here that I'll definitely get to. Let's see. Which one haven't we done yet? We did. Back to the 80s. Did we do Back to the 80s? I don't think we did Back to the 80s. I'm going to bring that one up. Let's use this. Let's use this one right now. All right. Your computer's up. My computer's up. Let's get into kind of easy trivia here.
Check this.
The Nielsen Show, featuring Lieutenant Eric.
Wrap the golden egg.
Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
This does sound very 1980s Breakfast Clubbish, doesn't it?
Yeah, that or you're on a hot case. You know, you got the aviators on. You're finding out what's wrong with the Oilers now. You're gonna track that. You're gonna get to the bottom
that
of
one
this.
too. That's
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
I mean, like unloading a clip of all this new tunes here. This is great. All right, let's play a little kind of easy trivia today. Of course, we have a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. Sirloin bites to die for. You're gonna love these things. Who did that? Oh, God!
I did sorry.
Scared the hell out of you, man.
I was looking through some clips, and now that my computer's fired up,
I
love it.
Brand new location in Fort Sask. We suggest the classic Mike Burger because it's really yummy. Who's playing today, Maddie?
Scalding Gourd.
Scalding Gourd is going to play today. All right, let's bring in Scalding Gourd. Scalding Gourd, you ready to go, man?
I guess so. I'm sad, but I guess so.
Who are you? You sound like Bouchard today. You ready to go? I guess so. I'm sad, but I guess so. All right, I will start the ticker. I have to read the first question. You need 3 of 5. Here we go. Who did the Oilers lose to last night?
Vancouver.
What position does Quinn Hughes play?
Defense.
How many wins do the Oilers have this season?
2.
Which team won the NFL Monday Nighter?
Chargers.
Who's the quarterback of the Chargers?
Justin Herbert.
What's that about? Vincent.
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother. I've been looking forward to this moment my whole life. Excuse me, but I was just taking a shower. Tell me a little bit about Vincent. Was he a great athlete? Was he interested in chess and poetry? My name is Julius. My name is Julius. My name is Julius.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Pour it on! Oh, man, us
Maybe
getting
we
your
need
computer
that.
fired up over there is that's a real game changer,
Change
buddy.
the game, but you have the board over there, which
I do have the board over there.
it's like a game of Risk now, hey? It's
Which we
kinda
can change to robot voice. Remember robot voice?
Yeah.
Is that our voice that goes robot voice?
It's whatever comes to that board will have the voice.
So
I
through the
believe.
computer
I
we'll
think
have
so.
robot voice.
Yeah.
Good to know. Okay.
You
I'm
can give it a try if you'd like.
let me try here. I'll turn this on. I don't think it worked. Does that robot voice? Yeah, it should be robot voice. Let me play this. Let's see here.
You're gonna live with me now. I'm gonna take care of you. Cause I love you.
Actually, that one.
I love you, John.
That one wasn't robot.
That was Deep Nuge filter, I think.
I think this is robot voice right here. Wait just a sec. Let's see. Let's try this one. I think this is robot voice. Let's see. That's awful.
Can
That's
I
awful.
do it too? Is it?
Well,
does
I don't
that
know.
work?
Robot
No?
voice might not be good. You can try.
Give it a shot, eh?
Pour it on. Wait. Is that just set up for my channel? Maybe.
Damn.
Let's try it again.
You ready?
Yeah. Pour it on. No. Sometimes Jack is very robotic anyway.
What?
When he gets flying like that, like
can't tell the difference.
down the stretch, like a lot of good stuff there. All right, let's get into congratulations, Scalding Gord. That was a weird vibe from Scalding Gord today, really, wasn't it? Yeah, it really was. All right, let's get into 3 questions too many. Brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff in Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where even they aren't interested in doing a deal with the Oilers right now. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. That's they did a deal.
These
with
guys
you.
did a deal with me. And Kenny Holland can't even get a deal done with Mitch from Park Mazda?
They let the phone ring.
That's
it's Ken again.
That's a really tough look.
It's tough.
Really tough look. You can send your questions 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, and we'll get to a few more of those as we work our way through. Guys, at this rate, Nick Bukestad isn't going to want to get traded to the Oilers at the deadline. Better off staying with the playoff-bound Coyotes.
Isn't that a twist, hey? How the turntables have...
Yeah. We'll get into a few more of those. There's some good text messages rolling. We obviously have some Oilers questions that have trickled in here. Somebody give us a non-Oilers question. We got 3 Oilers questions right now. Somebody give us a non-Oilers question. Nasty Chat, inbox, Paris Jewelers inbox, whatever. I don't want to do 3 Oilers. We've been beating the drum on the Oilers, and we're going to get into it with Gage or 2.
Champions League day, damn it.
Yeah, also, don't send us a Champions League question, though. All right? There's got to be something else we can get.
I got one if you need one after.
Do you? Do you have a Champions League question?
No. You said no champions.
Okay, so you want to give us a third question?
I can potentially give you a third question.
let me
Just,
write it down.
I think this will get
I'm
you.
gonna say-
I think I'll get you going a little bit.
Okay, surprise question from Maddie for question number 3. All right, or actually, you have a Twitter account.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's at Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow on Twitter. And Edmonton Sports Talk, at YEG Sports Talk. Great little interactive account. See that video I had from the casino last night?
Yeah,
Boy, was
what's
that
going on
psychedelic,
there?
eh? Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, you only get that when you show up at the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, Centric Casino Fort Road, where every day and every night is either game day or game night.
Is that
as
filter?
it was last night.
Was that a filter on the video?
No.
Just like that. Very cool. All right, question number 1. See, now this is good. We've spent a lot of time beating this game to death. But this guy asks, guys, give me one positive from last night's game.
Well, the start.
The start was positive.
And not positive with a, like, a capital plus sign. I mean, obviously, just getting the one goal, you would have hoped for a lot more when they were out shooting the Canucks by about 20-1 at one point. 19. I know there's that Twitter account.
It was 18-2.
That Twitter account where prefacing something bad about to happen, and it was the Oilers' shot total and then the goal. So the start was look. We said, what are we going to see effort-wise? How are we going to see this team come? And they came out and played. I mean, I don't know how. As I said earlier, instead of half of those getting in the net, and Thatcher Demko, again, good goalie, he goalied them there in that first opener of the first period. But that was a positive. They're not. And then I guess you could go make it a donut game, go to the end. Some people saying that frustration was maybe a product of where they're at, but they're not.
I just thought they looked like a bunch of poor sports at the end.
Right, but it's not tucking tail and running, I guess. And I don't know what would be preferable at this point, but you're right. I do get. It does look kind of a poor sport as aside from they're fired up. And
I thought McLeod. Now there were some times in the first period he could have played the body a little bit more, but I thought McLeod had one of his better games of the year. He was actually kind of involved around the net a bit. Fogle and Holloway seemed hungry last night. They were around the net.
Yep.
I thought they did get the no-go call right on Fogle. It looked like he started to flick his toe
even
ahead.
If he didn't have the...
it might have gone in even if he didn't touch it, which kind of was...
Yeah.
But... Fogle creates a little bit off the rush. He's willing to get to the net.
Holloway, like 5 shots, 4 hits. Like I think he had a good look in tight as well, but didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I liked Holloway's game last night too. So yeah, there were some positives. Give us some positives.
Kane, another assist, 4 hits.
We can have fun with Oilers positives too, like we used to during the Decade of Darkness.
Sure. We've been here before. We know we have the. We
are well prepared.
Binders
for
stacked.
A year of darkness. Yeah. There's no problem for that. It's just play the oldies, man.
Light a candle and.
Question number 2. Oh boy. Is this the worst that Connor McDavid has looked in his career?
Has to be. What do we look at? What other comparable time would there be? I mean, and we're assuming that there's some sort of injury.
Yeah, it's tough to compare to that because if he is,
there's an asterisk.
Now, look, this drives me nuts. But if his play is being slowed down due to an injury, then you shouldn't have played him in the Heritage Classic, and you should have given him 4 more days off before they had the game against the Dallas Stars.
But his parents flew into town.
So, I don't care. Like, to me, if the injury is the reason that McDavid's not, and it has to be because McDavid always produces, right? He's always producing at a better level than the level he's at right now. So if his whatever's ailing him is ailing him to the point that he's become not a non-factor, but much less of a factor than he usually is, then he probably shouldn't have played 6 days, 7 days after initially suffering said injury. So his play lately has been troubling, but I would give him a pass because he clearly can't be anywhere close to 100%. If he is close to 100%, this is the way he's playing. Well, then there's what did Button say today?
Well, like
Button said like he looks like he has a broken heart, right?
Or whatever. Like that was a pretty.
So, yeah. Thoughts on that? Hit us up 780-218-9999. Take part in our very popular Pound the Box campaign.
Now
the mystery question from Mr. Lean. Is this sports related?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Of course.
Is it Lakers?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
How worried should people be with the LA Lakers being 3-4 and losing their last 2 to both the Magic and the Heat yesterday, losing by 1 point? Should there be concern in Laker Nation right now?
Oh, Maddie, thank you for asking a question about the Lakers. I'm not concerned at all.
No?
I'm not concerned at all. Now, Anthony Davis got hurt last night.
Says he'll be okay.
Well, okay, whatever.
But
I mean, you can't really expect him to be healthy the entire
expects
season.
quick return, he says.
Okay. Well, classic Anthony Davis story.
You're still live in the in-season tournament.
They've changed a lot of pieces. I think this is LeBron getting guys worked into the lineup. For example, last night, what did they do? With the game on the line, he kicked it out. He got it to Reddish. Let Cam Reddish take a game-winning shot. Missed it. What'd they say after the game? Austin Reeves, LeBron, they said, be ready, man. We're going to get it back to you. You're going to get another chance at it again. So this is that early season classic LeBron tries to get everybody involved scenario. They also, when they beat the Clippers last week, they were missing like 4 regulars that are 4 lineup guys. So they are dealing with a few injuries right now. So I'm actually not concerned very much at all. And like I listen to like 2 or 3 podcasts, and you just listen to them on the way in the morning.
Which
One
ones?
of the ones I listen to is the Locked On Lakers
Oh, the
podcast.
Locked On, okay.
So I listen to MCTV with Corey and Mark for all your latest MCTV Marvel news and stuff. I love
just
it.
was wondering which
I listen
Lakers
to
ones.
CBS Fantasy Football, and then I listen to Locked On Lakers. And those guys are kind of like our city with the Oilers, right? Like so I like that from a fan perspective. It's one of the few things I can still be a fan of. Would be like the Lakers and the Lions, essentially. So yeah, they're a little bit more panicky than I would be. But thanks for the question, Maddie. Managed to get that in today. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Just look, LeBron looks great. LeBron looks really good still. He's in year.
Well,
21.
that's a little
He had 30
concerning then
last
if
night,
they're
right?
3-4 and he's looking good.
He's working everybody in.
Right? Like that's
When it's time to get going, you won't be tossing it to Cam Reddish for game winners. You know what I mean? Like,
I just
try
don't want
to
them
give
to
these
get
guys
into
a
a
chance
point
to
like
feel like they
last
fit
year
in.
where they've worked themselves in a hole and they're having to claw out and play this tough basketball in March and April to get into the playoffs. And that's just my worry. I just want them to be comfortably in a playoff spot so that when AD goes down this season more times, it's okay. And when LeBron needs his time, it's okay.
Yeah.
But being 3-4 and right now, it's just like,
It's okay. It's early. It's early. Remember we were saying for the Oilers, it's early 7 games in. And look how that worked out.
You still got the in-season tournament.
And there's always the in-season tournament. Those guys get a bunch of money. So that's nice. This text is in. It says, guys, non-Oiler question for 3 questions too many. What Edmonton moving company do you recommend? I have a friend that might need to move in the dark of the night. Signed, J. Woodcraft. I think that's a Jay Woodcroft joke.
I get it.
Yeah. Guys, on a positive note, see, here's a positive. Doesn't all have to be negative. His inability to defend has basically led to this. On a positive note, Bouchard's next contract will be much more cap-friendly. Comes in from Mark, the depressed Blue Jays fan. How can you be a depressed Blue Jays fan when it's rumored they might go after Shohei Ohtani? Do you think there's any way Shohei Ohtani would join the Toronto Blue Jays?
No.
It's probably the correct answer, Eric.
I think there's different landing spots that would be ahead.
So they would just have to drop the money.
If it's between playing for the Jays and not playing baseball at all, the Jays would.
I think he's going to be very tempted by the Dodgers, and rumors are the Braves as well. I don't know why the Braves, but
old AA, hey?
Poked my hand with
the poppy. Well, it's starting to slip off on it too.
No, yeah, it is.
Yeah, push it in.
Push that back in there. There we go. Guys, this is in from Spidey. For all the fans complaining about goalies, take a look at Cam Talbot's stats. Last year in Ottawa versus now with LA, where they actually play some good defense. Wait a second. Are you telling me that good defense can help a goaltender's numbers and that maybe piss poor, awful defense could make both your goaltenders look absolutely horrendous?
No Dustin Schwartz down there in LA either, eh?
Let's see. I just want to look up Cam Talbot's numbers. Maybe this guy's lying to us. How come I can't find Cam Talbot in Hog? I searched Cam
Talbot. Pretty good start to the campaign, is he not?
So last year in Ottawa, he had an 898 because, the Senators. This year with the Kings, he's 6-2-1 with a 923 save percentage. Oh, boy. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good for Cam Talbot.
Talbato.
Yeah, maybe play that for Sound of the Day. Who knows?
Right.
Boy, look at this text. You see the one from 4221? It's like a 3-page forward of a book.
You might have to print this thing off, eh?
Maybe we read this.
Like some lines he's shouting, some lines he
This
goes
this
back.
looks like it's something like he did up on a typewriter and then had somebody transcribe it into the
take a
inbox.
run at this thing?
Not right now. Well,
Why not?
let's do it. Let's do it. Right? We can do whatever
We
we
can do
want.
whatever.
We can do whatever we want.
He took the time.
And he starts it with this, and this is a real good thing. Boys, let's call a spade here. Where'd that saying come from? What's the origin of call a spade a spade?
Is it cards? Is it gardening?
Why is it not let's call a club a club? Anyway, boys, let's call a spade here. This is solely on Holland. Last year, our biggest glaring issue was goaltending against Vegas. We pretty well outshot them every single game and lost. They, like every other team in the league, have done to us. They goalied us. Ever since Skinner hasn't been his all-star self. Campbell has been a mess since puck drop last season and still is. and Holland fails to address that issue. What is our biggest glaring issue? Aside from not addressing the issue, Ken has figured manage the cap so poorly that his head coach, whom I believe is a great coach, and I think his leadership group does as well, has to ice a short lineup. Are you kidding me? And it's not just one game. Want to know what can be addressed so that Woody can actually utilize a 4-line group of forwards and have 2 in the press box and maybe hold some players accountable? You trade the unplayable 5x5 contract in Campbell. That's in caps. That's why I got it.
Yep.
I don't care what it takes. I know for a fact that San Jose or Chicago would accept a trade that involved a dump for a pick. Holland made the mistake and now literally has to pay for it. Skinner would be okay as a backup. He needs to have some pressure taken off of him. Dump Campbell, clear the $5 million, and give Jay a full effing roster. He used the F word. Last night, he went to his strong spine for the first time, and they were absolutely working the Canucks until their goalie deflated them again with 3 goals on 7 effing shots. This team sports has to be the worst save percentage in the entire league. That's behind San Jose, who allowed back-to-back 10-goal games. I don't give a bleep what Ken has to do, but get rid of Campbell and call up Rodrigue until they can trade for a goalie or just ride Rodrigue. If Ken can't put him in a retirement home early and have Jeff Jackson right this ship until this team addresses its biggest glaring issue, I'm effing done. Sorry for the long text, but I've been a religious fan through the decade of darkness. I put up with all this BS from my buddies, and when we landed Connor and drafted Leon, I thought, this is it. We can build a championship team around these two. Well, we are failing to do so. I think the 19-3 shot differential and absolutely hemming them in is promising last night, but get a goalie. Let's effing go. That is all one text from one guy who's extremely frustrated.
Longest text ever.
That takes the record for longest text we got so far in the Paris Jewelers inbox. That's really getting a workout today. Somebody should go buy something and give it to Paris Jewelers from Paris Jewelers. Like you guys, that inbox worked really hard today. Here's an R2-D2 ring.
426 words, 2,200 characters.
How did you count those words that quickly?
I'm that quick.
Wow.
No, it's a website.
As you read
you could just copy and paste into something. It'll tell you.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The internet's a wild thing.
So what were the numbers again?
It's 426 words, 2,200 characters, 26 sentences. It was one paragraph. The reading level is 11th to 12th grade.
Oh, wow. Hey, I did it.
Reading time is 1 minute, 33 seconds. Speaking time is 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
That's pretty accurate.
This really breaks
very
down.
accurate.
This breaks it down quite a bit. Yeah, it's 11th, 12th grade reading level. So, good on you.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that.
Somebody saying Bruce Boudreau should get text of the day this morning with the profanity-laced...
All right. Hey, fellas, I think at this point Woody's got to go. He plays too many stupid games with lines and whatnot. He strikes me as a guy who went to school for coaching but doesn't actually have the natural skill to be the head guy. His moves seem pre-planned and not coming natural, like pulling things out of a textbook. Hey, I'm going to say something for the Red that I read and get kicked out so many players think I got their back. Please. Oh, I'm going to say something to the ref. He holds no one accountable and loves his Bakersfield guys way too much. Boo should have been benched so hard last night, it's not even funny. Let's not pretend last year was all great. Things really didn't get started until well after they got Ekholm. They had plenty of issues. First year he came in was the normal coaching bump. Last year the Stars carried the team and masked their biggest problems. Clean out the coaching staff and move on. That's in from Munch Master Flex. Nom, 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 nom. Guys, Connor's body language reminds me of the golf course too many times this past summer. I show up early. I have a great warm-up. I'm finally ready to break 80 for the first time. Then I go and double bogey the first 4 holes. All I want to do is get the round over and go home. That's Connor right now. He wants the season to be over with. That comes from Paul down in Calgary. And this one says, as a Ticat/Oilers fan, I hereby declare that sports are dead to me.
Yeah, like that's
So, yeah.
Ooh.
All right, well, let's continue the conversation. Joaquin Gage joins us for Pro-Am Sports. They're your fan cave. They're fans just like you. Go see the Cooks and Boys at Pro-Am Sports. Gager, few things to discuss today, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Yeah, I mean, there's only 2 more races left in F1, so enjoy the rest of the season.
Season is whipping by very quickly. Probably not soon enough. Ferrari is talking about getting a new contract done with Charles Leclerc after he crashes during the formation lap. Gager, maybe the most Ferrari thing that we've seen since we started watching the sport.
I didn't know Charles Leclerc was such a big Oilers fan, trying to mimic that race like the start of the Oilers season, basically crashing on the formation lap. I mean, a little bit out of his control, but I don't know how you don't find out what that problem is with the hydraulics before you even get out there. Like it was a terrible look to, you see Max kind of come around the corner really quick, and then Charles out of nowhere just goes right into the barrier on the formation. I mean, poor Ferrari fans. You think Oiler fans have it bad. Imagine being a Ferrari fan for that long. Just horrible.
That would suck. I saw they cut to a few Ferrari fans in the crowd, and they were just like, "Oh, what is happening?" Okay, so quick. I do want to stay on Formula One for just a second. I rewatched. They had the basically like the helmet, front view cam, and back view cam of Alonso's final lap, and that was just a masterclass, wasn't it? That was great.
That was like just during the race, flipping back and forth, and then of course going back watching those helmet cams and the just switching. And Alonso says, and I think it was turn 5, he just missed the apex because he thought he was done. But once he saw that that Checo missed the apex on turn 5, he knew he could get him back at a certain point. And then, like 0.05 of a second, he won by.
That was amazing.
Amazing finish and just going nuts. Fernando's, I mean, who would have thought that Aston Martin would be back after just struggling for the past 3 months, right? So nice to see them finish the year strong because, look, they're going to probably need it here with the standings and trying to get back at hopefully McLaren because they just went nuts.
What are you doing for Vegas? I know we're like a week away, but this is a big event. Obviously, the stars are out, the caviar's flowing. You're an expert, you're an enthusiast, you're obsessed. What are you going to be doing for that race? Just at home with all the cameras and or are you doing this one a little more? Are you putting on the tuxedo, heading out somewhere?
I wanted to go, but with the being part of the F1 community, Eric, and talking to the people, they said, Gager, don't go this year. Wait till next year because this year they're going to get all the kinks out. And they're going to really get it right next year with everything. I just wanted to see what they did with that sphere during. Like, I'm sure that's going to be a racing helmet.
It's got to be like a Pirelli tire or something, right? Like
Verstappen's face, ruling everybody.
Yeah, but I heard through the community, the F1 community, that Valtteri Bottas will be doing something with the Golden Knights because he actually owns the Lahti Pelicans back in Finland.
Okay, all right. That's kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, so we'll look for Valtteri to be. Maybe he'll be taken one time or something, the slot from on Gunther Steiner there.
Joaquin Gage with us. He'll be with us again coming up at noon today. Big episode of Two Guys and Goalie with myself, Cass and Gager, as we break down last night's game. Gager, where do you start? Where do you start from last night's game? Like, great start. Desharnais puts one in his own net. Second goal is one that I would think, and you can describe it if you want, Skinner's got to have that. And then from there, they just sort of unravel, don't they?
Yeah, it was, I mean, those 2 goals, really unfortunate. One, Vinny Desharnais, I mean, no one means to put the puck in their own net, and I like the play, but somehow the defensive struggles of the Oilers, that's almost trying to do too much. All he had to do, I mean, there's still a possibility of the puck hitting you and going the other way, but all he had to do was take his guy there, right? Like Hughes is on the side, rifles a pass, and if he would have just taken his man, that play's dead. The second goal has got to be stopped, Dusty. I realize it's a breakdown in your own end, but you just saw the other guy just probably 16 shots at that point.
Yeah,
you gotta find a way to mix in a save. You see your team doing everything possible to get going here, and you just let all the air out of the Pirelli tires. You can't have that happen as a goalie and in that situation. It was just, I don't know, Dusty. It's puzzling. I find that when I watch and seeing, I wasn't too optimistic right away and I hate calling out players, but I think it was McLeod. He had a chance to finish a guy behind the net, and he went really fast towards him, and then just pulled away. And I was like, my gosh, man! Like you can't do that. You have to be engaged completely. And I mean, what's really puzzling is when you don't have the puck, you're on defense. When you have the puck, you're on offense. There's too much hope with there's a puck loose. Maybe I can cheat on the offensive side. They're not a good enough team to cheat.
Yeah.
Everyone has to have a fundamental understanding that it has to be defense first, because we're allowing 4 or 5 goals a game. You can't keep doing that. And to see the cheating on the other side of the puck consistently still, and I'm not one excuse me, I'm not one to get rid of Woodcroft, but that's an issue that he has to beat in really quick or yeah, he's done.
And we'll get to that in a second. I do want. How many times are we going to talk about Bouchard making a bad pinch or not making the right play defensively or not working hard enough to get back defensively before we actually see him, not leading their team in ice time in games like that? Because I want to talk about people praising Draisaitl for a back check that should just be expected at this time as well. But Bouchard, at some point, man, you have to do something. Do you not?
You're asking when are we going to stop talking about it?
Yeah,
as soon as he's wearing a different jersey.
Yeah, that's just who he is. That's what it is.
That's who he is. There's no. You see him go back for the puck. It's still nonchalant. It's on the defensive side. He becomes a fan half the time and just is looking at things. He gets kind of back in that play where he does the 10% pinch. I don't know what he was thinking at that point, because the Oilers, they won the draw too, and then he comes back and he witnesses the play. Skinner makes an unbelievable save, but he's a step behind his guy, and a simple play where he stands beside his guy, lifts his stick, he eliminates the play. If it didn't happen so much, Dusty, I would say, okay, well, it's a one-off thing, but it constantly happens with this guy where in the own end, he just did, like Tommy says, the controller, he loses
gets
power
unplugged,
to the controller,
man. Yeah.
And then just starts coasting, and man, I just don't get, there's no urgency in his game. And I don't know, it's not a big deal. Maybe it's hard getting up when you're waking up in silk sheets.
How much of this 2-8-1 start would you put on the goalies, Gager?
I think it's not one area; it's every area.
So you don't think just changing the goalie fixes it?
Do you go to the AHL? Is any of that?
Yeah, is there?
That? There's no fix.
Yeah,
the fix has to be in the room. That's the thing. Everyone's saying trade this, trade that. What are you going to get unless you get rid of one of your huge pieces, right? Maybe not one of the huge pieces, but one of the guys that has been around for a while to shake things up. But I don't know if anyone's going to want one of those players, right? You're not going to get full value for them. As a player, I guarantee they're saying, look, we have to find out the answers within ourselves, within this room. No one is going to help us here. There's no one out. There's no silver bullet that's going to fix this. They have to fix it somehow within that room. And this is a really big kind of view of this leadership group and what they're made of, because from what I saw halfway through the second was horrible body language from guys that you would expect to raise their level of play, get mad. I didn't mind the last bit of Connor losing it. Kane at least is mixing it up a little bit. I don't know why anyone else, Connor's getting manhandled in the corner and no one's getting in there. There's something wrong in there that needs to be fixed, Dusty.
Major concerns here for the Edmonton Oilers moving forward. You can chime in 780-218-9999 or hit us up in the nasty chat as well. I thought one of the things, last night I'm watching the post-game show, and the boys were breaking down the Bouchard goal, and I see people being like, yeah, you look at Draisaitl, look how hard he worked on that back check. And then Jay Woodcroft in his post-game mentioned Draisaitl's back check on that play as well. And Gager, when you're singling out players' back checks, to me, that like you should never be praising a back check. It should just be accepted that is how you have to skate coming back on the puck every single time. And when it stands out to the point where people are like, "Wow, good work," I mean, I think we're missing the storyline here, and the fact that there are things that National Hockey League teams do on the regular that don't get noticed, that this team doesn't do from a defensive standpoint. Like, they are an absolute train wreck defending on the rush. And I think a big part of that is a lot of the back pressure doesn't exist. And to me, would you also say it's a lack of communication between a bunch of the guys?
Tons of lack of communication and pointing things out. We were texting on one of the goals, I forget, and it just looked like
it was on the second goal, the one that Skinner should have had. We still basically it was a 3-on-3 coming into the zone, right? Like,
yeah. I hate singling guys out, but what I was troubled yesterday or the day before, Leon was doing an interview, and I forget who asked him, what does he need to do to be better? And he says, well, I have to produce more. And I'm like, excuse me? Produce more? You guys are you should be either tied or winning a game with the amount of goals you have put up. You shouldn't be allowing 4 or 5 goals a game, first of all. And for Leon to say I have to produce more is troubling, because that's not the issue. The issue isn't scoring. They're scoring some goals, but the defensive end and the structure coming back, the neutral zone, the odd man rushes. When's the last time you saw the Oilers in an odd man rush? Right?
Yeah,
like
last year.
Like, it just doesn't happen the other way. Very rarely.
No.
Like,
and it like you have to work just as hard or way more without the puck than you do with it. And you see them every time coming into the zone and pulling up and trying to do pretty plays. There's fundamentally trying to do too much, and then there's not enough. Like the Oilers' best players, which usually for the past few years have always dominated the game, like on the score sheet. They've been the best players for the most part. It's troubling to see how the top 2 players on the other team, and you could toss it around there, but Pettersson, Demko, Quinn Hughes, Jesus, what a player, man. He might win the Hart this year. He's unbelievable. But they are consistently outperforming the Oilers' top players every single game. It's only happened 2 times where Connor and Leon kind of were the best players in their 2 victories. And other than that, the other team's top players have been dominant, and they've made a mockery of them.
what do you make of McDavid right now, Gager? How off does he look? Button said earlier today he kind of looks like he has a broken heart right now. Like,
well, I think when you're a superstar like that, you take things personal, and you want to fix everything, right? And again, I think he's got to realize he can't fix it alone. He's got to have the other 14 guys in the lineup to help him. I'm at a loss, Dusty. I don't know, but it's a team game, and you can't do it individually. Sometimes it seems like Connor's trying to do a little bit too much by himself, and you can see it. He's losing the puck. He's missing the net on shots from the slot. Nothing is going right for anyone with the Edmonton Oilers.
Get to the shirt.
Yeah. Well, I know this shirt. I have this shirt as well. People are thinking his shirt, with the way it looks, people are thinking it says stop. It says stop the puck, but it says stay the puck home. That's a charity pandemic shirt, right? So yeah. Okay. Yeah. People thought you were wearing a shirt today that just said stop the puck. They're like, yes,
visual
Gager.
gag there.
That's what I'm talking about. Well done.
I'll put some tape on it. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do it.
Yeah. All right, Gager. We'll talk to you in about 3.5 hours on Two Guys and a Goalie.
Can't wait.
Deeper dive coming on Two Guys and Goalie today with myself, Gage, and Cass. That should be a good episode as we try to get to the bottom of it.
200 likes.
200 likes. Oh wow, that's great.
We hit it.
Thanks everybody. Keep pounding that bad boy.
Yeah. Hitched rides, eh?
Yeah. We've given 200 people a ride. Somebody said Uber drivers are kind of like guys who pick up hitchhikers but just want to get paid for it. Which I guess technically, I mean, if that's like a thing that you have.
Yeah,
like,
but you can say that about then cab drivers too. right?
Yeah.
Like you're all. It's all. You're with the company. You've signed up with the company. It's fully, like with Uber, you're saying who you're driving with. Like, I don't know.
What do you think is the more uncomfortable situation there? The hitchhiker or the picker-upper?
I think it depends on on who.
And could you pick somebody up on the side of the road that could take somebody in front of the net for the Edmonton Oilers?
The early days of Uber, my brother would go on white and get so banged up, and then he'd just walk into a random car. Are you my Uber? He would ask, and they'd have to politely tell him to leave and like not, give it to everybody. It was a Wild West, baby. Like now, it's as you mentioned, everybody you got, you know who's in the car.
I think the more awkward situation in a hitchhiking situation would be it'd be more awkward for the person doing the picking up.
But you're also picking someone up.
You know what you're doing.
You know what you're doing.
It's awkward because you don't know what's in that car. Trust me, from somebody who's hitched.
I think it's a massive trust from both sides.
It's a trust game.
The driver is trusting whoever comes in is normal enough, and the hitchhiker's trusting that the driver is also normal enough and going to take them somewhat where they're trying to go.
It's a card game.
Should you not assume if somebody's pulling over to pick you up, they're a really nice person? Because that's a really nice thing to do.
Or they're insane.
Or they're insane.
Predatory.
And it's the same with maybe the person on the side of the road is just, hard on their luck or something, just needing to get somewhere.
Maybe their car's broken down around the corner. Who knows?
Or they're insane. Like, there's not a lot of middle ground necessarily all the time, I don't think, with that.
Yeah.
So
situational.
I think it's very much dependent on each situation of who's the weird one and who's not type thing. Like when Eric got picked up.
That guy was so
I wouldn't
confused.
call you insane.
Do you remember the guy that picked me up that wasn't in on the bit?
Phrases here.
But the guy that wasn't in on the bit picked me up. He wasn't supposed to pick me up. That could have been the last you saw of me.
That would have been something. I mean, I could kind of see the story ending that way.
Well, you go out in a blink, right? Like that's one of the ways you'd like to go out, but
I could never do it. I would just walk the distance, no matter how far it is.
It's not bad either.
I don't think I could do it, man. I don't want to like put somebody in that spot where they have to like decide pick me up or not. I don't want to do that to them.
If I have the story correct,
Cash, grass, or
if I have the story correct, I think my buddy's now wife once picked up someone and like texted him or called him or something like, "Oh, I'm just gonna pick up a hitchhiker," and then I think text, and then he tried calling her and she wouldn't pick up her phone for like a couple of hours.
Come on,
because she was in the mountains and she hit a dead spot and stuff, and so
Sure
didn't get her for a while.
Really?
But it was like,
Les Meyer
just
used to do it all the time.
Hey, I'm picking someone up, and then all of a sudden couldn't reach her and going, "What's going on here?"
Les would do it into the 2000s, yeah.
I could see Les picking up people. I would
and
love
really enjoyed it.
to
Could
be
you
picked
imagine
up by
pulling over
Les
picking you up?
Meyer.
Yeah.
If I need a ride and all of a sudden
Should be
Les
so lucky.
Meyer is pulling up, take me wherever you're going, Les. I just want some time with you.
You don't give a it doesn't matter.
Hey, I want to get to this. A couple things in the Nasty Chat. One, this one on the hitchhikers. Dougie D says, I picked up a hitchhiker. He says, aren't you afraid I'm a serial killer? And I said, no chances of there being two serial killers in the same car. That's astronomical. That's got to be a joke that he stole from somewhere. That's really funny. And then John says, watching you on an airplane from my way to Vegas. On my way to Vegas. I've been around 30 NHL games in Canada, and I love the passion you guys have for the game. Love the show. See, that's why we got to get the map. And the map's coming. I exchanged emails with Map Guy again yesterday. We're going to have a map, and when somebody says they're watching from, where's the guy who's in the mountains somewhere? In Arizona or something?
Would you like to know where people are listening right now?
Yeah, tell us where people are listening from right now. This is analytics. This is not some made-up radio ratings.
No, but also this, I'm assuming IP addresses can impact where we're coming.
Well, I hope somebody's doing like hacking IP addresses.
Well, no, you change your IP to get different spots. But we've got someone's IP in Bermuda.
Bermuda.
We've got Tampa.
Tampa?
No, that's Orlando. Sorry. Looks like in Georgia. I think we know who that one is.
Georgia, that'd
there's
be
Nashville. There's Kansas. There's Massachusetts. There's Michigan. All the way in Canada. It's across the country. We got someone in L.A.
Perfect. It's probably
Some
LeBron.
Phoenix, Tucson. Aren't they on the road?
Doesn't matter. Don't ruin this for me.
Palm Desert.
Palm Desert.
Palm Desert.
Nice.
That
Someone
sounds
in
cool.
Palm Desert. Salt Lake near there. Portland, Seattle. Today there's no one listening. Earlier today there's someone in Germany. There's no one listening around. But I have an actual map right now pinpointing where
that is kind of neat. Yeah, so we got this map coming.
I could kick you out too, by the way, to any of those people.
Don't kick anybody out.
I don't want
That's
to. I'm
not
just
nice.
saying, like, there's
we can though, but we don't
have
know.
this power.
How would we know that somebody listening online is causing issues?
We don't.
Exactly. So we
That's
can
why
never
I'm not
kick
going
anybody
to
out.
kick them out.
Anyway, the guy's putting
Unless I learn
together
your IP.
our map. is also highlighting our hometowns on the map, which is kind of neat as well. So that'll be kind of cool. So we got to find a place to put this map up. I just don't know where we're going to put it. It's not going to go in here. There's no room in here. It's going to have to be out there. We have to get a map.
Well, it depends
cam.
how big
We have to
is
get a
it?
map cam.
How
well,
big is it?
It's going to be pretty big, I would
Then
think.
I
You don't want a small map.
near the fridge on one of those walls. It'd fit.
Yeah, but then when we want to mark somebody down, I guess Eric could just run over and mark it. And we could put a map cam over there that we pick him up when he goes over to mark it, which would be kind of cool.
Let's do it. I'm all for it.
We got cameras kicking around. We're not using right now. Map cam.
Actually, almost everything's plugged in except that one.
Well, then we can make that one the map
I got to
cam.
plug that one in. And then we're ready to start rolling out all 5 cameras.
Are you sure they're not using a VPN that comes in from Shanzi?
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
I
but
didn't,
you
say,
don't
I didn't
need to
actually
use
say
a
the words
VPN for us
VPN.
right now, right?
Some people like using VPN at all times just for security purposes and stuff. Yeah, I didn't say actually. That's what I meant
I love
by
the
where they
hacker
were.
game, man. Like
It's not a hacker thing.
No, but I just love.
I get it through TELUS. I get the ability to do it through TELUS because I got Norton from them, and I could set my IP to anywhere.
Did you ever watch the movie Hackers with Angelina Jolie?
No.
Great movie. Yeah, I think her name was. Crap! I can't remember her name, but it was good. It was pretty funny actually. I like that one. I'd like to do that sometimes. All right, let's get to this text. I'm sick of hearing everyone saying, what are they going to get when talking about a trade or making a move from the minors? I get that it's hard and there's not an easy solution, but that's literally what a GM gets paid for, no? You don't get paid to cherry pick easy trades to improve your team when everything is going well. I would have assumed a guy like Holland gets paid what he does because of the relationships he's built over time and the experience he has to solve the damn problem. Please, God, make Holland do something, even to let us know we're still alive at least.
Were they supposed to have got him for free?
Yeah, I guess. So that's people are fired up today. I love it. I absolutely love the passion. Cal texts in and says, picking up hitchhikers in this economy? You can't afford to pick up a hitchhiker right now. That's insane. Casino Dealer Jay says, Kate Libby, Dusty. Great movie. Yeah, Kate Libby. And but she had a name, like a hacker name, because you have to have a cool hacker name if you're going to be a hacker. Last thing you want to do is get arrested as a hacker and like, what's your name? Oh, Steve Johnson. Like you can't have that. You have to have a cool hacker name for sure. We're going to get into the wrap here coming up just in a few moments. So they're not practicing today. Day off today for the Oil. Nothing happens before San Jose, right? Like I think the whole crew is like, okay, let's go pump the Sharks, just like everybody else pumps the Sharks, and then maybe that'll be the game that gets you back on track. But how can you believe that would be the game that gets them back on track? Because you know what's going to happen against the San Jose Sharks? They're going to score 9 goals and not have to commit to playing any defense. Then they're going to go up against Seattle, and Seattle's going to take advantage of them the same way that everybody else is taking advantage of them in. So
I'm not going down that road.
But that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. Tommy Gazzola's here.
Sad Tom.
And DVD's coming in too. The Hangout's going to be good today. Fraze, Van Diest, Tommy Gazzola, Matthew Owanek. I wonder what they'll be talking about. I'm sure they'll get into a few of these chats as well.
We'll just do Champions League. 2 hours straight of Champions
Full
League.
slate, every
That's
match.
it. We're going to preview every single match.
Today and tomorrow.
See her.
Full match.
What else is going on? What else is there to discuss?
We can get into that Lakers loss last night. Acid Burn. See, that was her hacker name. That's a cool hacker name.
What a Lord and Icon.
Acid Burn. That's so cool. That's a good one.
Officer Eugene the Plague Belford. Anybody? Hey, is that?
Crash Override. That was the.
You'll have to. You'll have to. We have to have a rewatch of this here at the.
Have you ever watched Hackers?
I saw bits and bites of it at a friend's house one time.
Did you say bites?
Bits and
because
bites.
it's a hacker thing. Yeah, that's funny. That was really good. Okay, sound of the day today. What should we do for the sound of the day today? Should we go into the vault?
Vault.
Should we do a
or
vault?
we play one of the new songs.
Oh well, I mean,
there was the one with the drop.
We could have. All right, we can do it. Well, we'll get into that. Let's get into the wrap for William Huff. Hangout's coming up. It's going to be a beauty. Van Diest, Fraze, Tommy, Maddie. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you have autoplay on YouTube, so you just immediately directly get taken right on over. Just that little autoplay button in the middle of your YouTube screen, and then you won't miss us. And of course,
and we will talk Oilers. I was joking about the champs, and why just for some out there, like we will dive fully into the Edmonton Oilers.
Why are you concerned about them right now?
Got it.
Are you panicking? I think it's going to work out. I say stay the course. Beat the San Jose Sharks. You scare me every time you do that. I gotta turn down your computer. Oh, man, I don't have I have to reload them. I didn't save it last time. Give me a sec. What was the one that we really liked? Break the Party? Break the Party. I think it was Break the Party. Let's add Break the Party in here. Was it? No, it wasn't Beach Party.
No, Beach Party.
I think it was Break the Party. We'll get to that. Maybe that'll be your sound of the day today. But let's get to the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, get it done at William Huff. They've been wrapping the city since 1972. Visit them at williamhuff.com. They wrap the 3 biggest sports properties in the city. Rogers Place, Commonwealth, Edmonton Sports Talk head offices. So Bruce and his team know exactly what's up. Visit them at www.williamhuff.com.
Encouraging sign to see Artem.
What was that? What are you up to over there? Eric with audio on his computer scares me a little bit.
Yeah, we really cracked open another base here. No, I'm just getting into what I learned on the show today.
Yeah, what'd you learn?
Defenseman Artem Zub skated in a regular jersey.
Oh, wow, huge news.
He's nearing a return from a UBI, so in terms of breaking news.
I learned that, Craig Button's just so good. Isn't he? Like, Button came on today and just shared his opinion with no filter.
That Connor McDavid broken heart type of aspect, I kind of...
But is he really wrong? Like,
no,
McDavid
he's
does
not.
look...
And was I wrong to ask if it was LTIR eligible? I think that you could easily put him on there with a...
Is it malaise? Is that the word? Malaise?
Yeah. Apathy? Apathetic?
It looks very malaise right now. It's just something... I don't know. It's just... Something's not right. Something's not right with the entire group. And this team has always gone as McDavid and Draisaitl go. They just always have. They always will. And when McDavid and Draisaitl aren't going, the team is certainly not going.
We had the back check, though. And the duck lips in the penalty box during the... As one texter point, that long text, the dime. Draisaitl serving the dime.
They need to grow up. And it's not a full-blown... Like, they need to grow up on the ice in a number of different ways. Like, grow up, become an adult, and commit to the defensive side of the game. As a hockey team. I'm not talking as the players individually. I think a few of them probably have to mature as well. But as an organization and as a team, grow up and commit to the defensive side of the game. Do you know what will happen if you commit to playing defense properly, especially off the rush? Your goaltenders will start to look better because they won't be hung out to dry every single time.
Forlorn, Dusty. He looks forlorn, that text.
Oh, forlorn. That's a good one to discuss.
A real good one.
Forlorn. Very forlorn. All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. Then we'll get to your text of the day.
And somebody really wanted you to bring that Goonies shirt.
You want the 5XL Goonies shirt?
With nothing underneath, though. That's.
I can't do that to the boys. I might bring in the shirt, though. Like, should I keep this? Why would my wife not let me wear this?
We'd like to have a little look-see.
You know, you could keep it to wear it over top of, like, full-blown snowsuits.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of neat.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be good. Here's your sound of the day. We call this Break the Party.
The Dave Draymond mix.
Oh, wow. Is this the one, or was it the energy one?
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Wait for it.
Pour it on!
See, and then you could put something really dramatic in here. Like Jay Woodcroft with an F-bomb. And Kane with an F-bomb. And who else had an F-bomb this year? There's another F-bomb.
Wrap the golden egg!
Oh, and then you wrap the golden egg.
You boys have fun. Seen anything like this? Nor have I.
Eventually, it kind of pops back in. Wait until it hits. It doesn't hit for a while. We can do that thing where I fade it down and kind of continue on with the text of the day. Wait, there's words in here?
You didn't hear this before?
Let's sing Clap Your Hands?
That's what they're saying. I was trying to figure it out.
Clap your hands. What is it saying? Now it hits. Damn, that's good. That was a real nice addition to the show today.
We've got no breaks. We should just do music underneath the entire show now, too. Carry that momentum.
Oilers 92 says, this is final boss music. This is kind of what's like. You made the final boss.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. All right, text of the day today.
Couple
Yeah,
strong
couple of
contenders,
different ways.
throughout.
Couple of different ways to win text of the day today. Some people were saying, trying to get in on the fact, what did Jay Woodcroft say to the ref that did not have any profanity in it, as he says, but still got him ejected from the game? And there's a few good ones that rolled in on that. E-Town beatdown with Woody said French's ketchup is better than Heinz. Try it. That's a good one. I like that one. Woody didn't drop any expletives, but he did call the ref a cotton-headed ninny muggins. And then we had this one from Jaunty and Victoria a couple minutes from the beach. Does Spectrum Rental rent hearts? Mr. Cates has a big order, I believe.
That flies in with the Button McDavid stuff. Like, just
Is that your text of the day right there?
We're all kind of joking. We're trying to make light of an otherwise depressing situation, but that nails it on
Jaunty,
the
I
head
think
right
you've
there.
got it, buddy.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Working in a sponsor into a text of the day is great. You've got a gift certificate to A&W. Next time you're in town, swing on by and pick that bad boy up. $20 gift card to A&W's and go try your hand at those new chicken crunchers. 3 different types of chicken crunchers. They got the Nashville hot chicken cruncher, the chubby chicken cruncher, and the BLT chicken cruncher as well, available at A&W. And I do highly suggest their chicken breakfast sandwich. It's pretty good. Get the spicy chicken breakfast sandwich because it's not
spicy breakfast.
Yeah, it's not overly spicy, but there's a little kick to it. It's like the others aren't great back checkers, but they'll do it once in a while. And then they'll get praised for it because everybody else does it on a regular basis. So there's that going for you right now as well. Hangout coming up to you guys might have to crack a couple Clamato Caesars today, buddy.
Why not? Shake them up.
Get Tommy Gazzola on the Clamatos right away. Right? Might as well.
Clamato Redmouth, Tommy. Eh?
Yeah, that would be good. The Hangout's coming up.
He needs probably coffee just to wake up.
Crimson teeth by the end.
It would have been. Wait, how late did they go last night? I finally
I don't
checked
know. It was
out.
an hour some. Then it looked like it went an hour 20.
Okay. I watched about 45 minutes.
By the time you get home, you can't just go right to bed.
Oh, of course not.
Like it takes a while to unwind and all that. So I can't imagine that he had a bunch. So I think he just needs to pound the coffees a little bit right now. As much. The rest of us could do the Caesars, the Mott's Clamato Caesars.
Yeah.
Pickled beans, great.
Maybe a little whiskey.
Do you like that pickled bean Caesar?
I do like the pickled bean one.
Yeah, the Hangout. You know the Hangout's legit because it has a presenting sponsor now. Mott's Clamato Caesars going to be on for the next 3 months. Then we're going to go to White Claw. Then we're going to go to Two Hoots. It's going to be great.
Those White Claw.
You know, I had a Caesar during the draft last week.
Yeah, you liked it.
I liked it. Now,
That's
it was the plain one, and I still thought it was a little spicy.
Spicy, yeah.
But
that says what you need to know about a Mott's Clamato. If you like it, well then.
It's a really good point. Like,
if it could hit a bar that Dusty says I like this, boom,
Spicy
you've
chicken
done
sandwiches
it.
for breakfast.
You've done it.
But the original Mott's Clamato Caesar, just a little too much spice.
it makes me sad, guys, because I should have had like a Caesar with my grandpa before he passed away.
Well,
he was a big Mott's. He was a big like Mott's in his beer guy, Clamato in the beer.
Yeah, I'm not big into that one.
But I could have
Good for the
been
hangover.
like I could have had a Caesar with him.
I just thought you'd be a Caesar with all the garnishes you can put on top and the options.
The
You'd be
only
all over that.
garnishes I would have on a Caesar would be the pepperonis and like the
Beef
bacons
jerky,
and the
yeah,
jerkies
yeah.
and stuff
No
like
cheese.
that.
You got room for a cheese. And cheese is nice to have on there too. A little meat.
Oh, I'd
cheese.
take like a little cheddar cheese.
A little, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And then what? You put salt around the outside, right? On a Caesar.
Yeah, the rims have that.
Now, what type of salt is that? Because I just like regular plain
it's
white
a
whatever I
special.
want.
Often the people do the things differently.
Yeah, 'cause
One
it
day we
looks
should
like
get
so
Luke
thick.
to come in here and
Oh, he
actually
makes
make
a
you a
mean
Caesar.
Yeah, he's a big Caesar
Except
guy.
he makes them very short.
need
Jess's
him short.
cup at that one
Hey,
party he
ain't
had.
no
oh
hiding in those
boy.
glasses, I tell you.
Oh boy.
Oilers 92 is in. It says you guys need an
Yeah, little blue
exorcism.
club.
An exorcism Thursday morning before the show.
We'll
Somebody else
dress
says
up
a
if you want to.
sacrifice.
Yeah, you could
I
wear the
don't mind the
Goonies
idea
shirt,
of sacrificing something. Like, what do we do on Thursday to get the Oilers back?
Wear
on
the
track?
Goonies shirt.
I wear the 5XL Goonies shirt.
You
to
dress
get the
up
Oilers
as some
season
sort
back
of
on-
like a
It's a huge shirt, you guys. Like it's
Yeah, but
it would look
then
awful.
you don like this mask or something. Like you're kind of like a.
What about we do a segment where we're both inside the 5XL Goonies shirt?
Sign me up. I'll join you.
We'd
in
have
there.
to put another mic here so we can be a little bit closer. But that would be pretty funny.
We could, oh yeah.
Give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this shirt is
No.
big enough that we could almost both. If you sat right there and I sat right here, we could almost fit in this 5XL shirt.
Yeah, we have that other
give it a
mic. We could
shot.
do that easily.
Yeah, maybe that's what we do.
worth a
That's
try,
how you. Maybe that's how you get this thing back on track. Somebody's got to do something. What are you watching tonight, my man?
Let's go over the. Well, you had a Buffalo. The play was Buffalo tonight. Sabres and Hurricanes. Was it plus 167 Sabres? Or a busy night in the NHL. You got a full slate of games. Was it here? Colorado,
Buffalo,
Calgary,
Carolina doesn't treat me. I did get on
Winnipeg,
Buffalo
St.
plus
Louis,
1.5.
Habs and Lightning, I guess something like that. NBA, nothing in the NBA tonight, I do believe, eh? Night off in
Night
the
off
NBA.
in the association.
Tomorrow, a full slate of games. Last night, tons. No play-in tournament.
You've got MAC action.
Maction.
Ball
Lay
State
it on
taking on Northern Illinois. You got Central Michigan taking on Western Michigan, the Battle of the Michigan, and Ohio taking on Buffalo.
There's so many Battle of Michigans, aren't there? Like
Somebody in the game.
I don't know. I'm
I think
assuming
it was
those
Cole
would be on.
Tucker, the Calgary Stampeders. Is he a Northern Illinois guy? I think he
Jordan
might be-
Lynch used to be.
I think he might be a Northern Illinois
was
guy.
he in Northern Illinois?
Dortmund Newcastle will dominate my Champions League viewing. Lazio Feyenoord could get a little dirty, if you know what I mean, off the pitch. Yeah, that's about it. And your lean, Servina Zvezda and RB Leipzig for you, Maddie?
Yeah, what time's that one?
1 o'clock this
That's
afternoon.
the late ones.
Just got a text from YouTube, Trev. Sorry, I'll be a little late, but I'll stay longer today.
Well, text is nice. At least
So
he's
yeah,
letting us
that's
know.
nice.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a good ad. He's going to stay longer. That's fine.
You bring us a few
But that being
coffees,
said,
yeah.
it better be an epic story on why he's late. He's a younger guy. He's got to have a good story. There's got to be a good story there. Like sleeping in, mind you, it would have been late last night. Maybe he did just sleep in.
Yeah, I don't think there's any sexy to this.
Can't really blame him for that one.
But he could dress it up a bit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Tell me
give us
why.
a fishtail, you
Tell
know?
me why.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
good. All right, Hangout is coming up. You're not going to want to miss that. Phrase, Derek Van Diest, Tommy Gazzola, Matthew Iwanek. I'll be back with Huss on the Lock Shop at 11 o'clock. You know we're going to have a ton of fun on the Lock Shop. And then two guys and a goalie today with myself, Cass, and Gager. More of a deep dive on the Oilers. And is this fixable at all, or is this just what this season is going to be? Fun day today. Thank you very much for joining us, whether you're listening on TuneIn or listening on our website, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, or watching live on YouTube. Tell your friends about what we're doing here. We think they're really going to like it. For Mr. Lean, Lieutenant Eric, I am Dustin Nielson. Have a great day. Stick around for the Hangout. Take it easy.